and I can't help it.
Listen to Creating a Con on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Creating a Con.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for is finally here. It's Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jeff Dye back in the ring for an all-new season of the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
That's right, Freddie. Get ready as we highlight the most jaw-dropping matches, dissect the fiercest feuds, and uncover the latest twists and turns in the world of pro wrestling.
And we obviously can't wait to hear from you, the Federation. Without you guys, none of this is possible. Listen to Wrestling with Freddie on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raided. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. It is a Monday after a national championship. We have another national champion to crown tonight in college basketball.
Don't overthink it. Just don't overthink it, because this is really not that hard to figure out.
Jeremy says it's not going to be close. I tend to agree with him.
I mean, just live bet it, as I did the NC State game, as I did the UConn-Alabama game. And as odds makers kept going, oh, Alabama's keeping it close. It's close. Ah! Yeah, UConn, all of it. Keep going.
Just all of it.
However much you think I bet on UConn, you should probably add the value of a Geo Metro to that. Mm-hmm. And that's where we were.
The NC State teams, good job for getting as far as you did. Nobody would have – I mean, the women, okay, we could have expected that. The men, no one expected them to get as far as they did, and then that came crashing down in the Final Four. So – sorry, I felt like that was coming. Especially the men's side of that.
It went how you assumed it would.
DJ Burns was fine until he played a dude that he just couldn't out-muscle. He couldn't I mean, Zach Edey's just like grabbing rebounds over his head. There's nothing DJ could have done.
No. That would be like so you take the best sixth grader that you've ever seen play basketball, especially if it's a post player, and then you put them up against me.
Yes.
I am going to hurt your feelings for 40 minutes. And that's what Zach Edey did.
Yes. So, congratulations to them for making it as far as they did. Sorry you had to handle that loss that way. But, Caitlin Clark, she came one step away yet again. That South Carolina team is just too much.
Yeah.
Too much for anybody. Much like UConn is on the men's side.
Yeah.
There was no way that was going to go any other way.
It was a nice it's a really nice polarity there of the men's team and the women's team. UConn with the men, South Carolina with the women. You're just not going to beat them unless they beat themselves.
Right.
Sorry.
It's great.
That happens sometimes.
It's great. The best player in the game can get you to the championship.
Boom.
But the best team's always going to win.
Now, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark later in this here program because I keep hearing a narrative, and I hate to be the truth police, but I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. But that's not where I want to start.
Where do
I want to start with an event that seems to just captivate a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Tank watched it.
Yeah,
I watched it.
Oh,
and I'm not sure how I feel about what you gave me.
WrestleMania.
What happened to wrestling? Used to be so good.
Saturday night and Sunday night. Yes, I did watch way more of it than I should have. I want it to be good. I want it to be like I remember it. And it never is.
Now, I do have one question. how big of a banger song do I have to come up with for people to hear that song when I walk into a building and they just immediately go, wow! How do I do that? I want to find a way to do that. Because I think that would be so sweet.
It would be sweet.
Do I have to dress
It's not a banger, though.
I have to dress like I'm riding a horse in the Kentucky Derby? Because that's how Cody Rhodes dresses.
Can we please with the costumes? I mean, I know that the costumes were crazy when we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's no real comparison. Was
Seth
I the
Rollins.
only one that got like the Sgt. Pepper and the Lonely Hearts Club Band feeling from Cody Rhodes?
Seth Rollins looked like he was a partner with the Riddler. So I mean, if we're going to talk about costumes, that's where it starts and ends. Right. He came out and looked like a cartoon of himself.
It just looked like Cody Rhodes was supposed to be leading a Memorial Day parade somewhere.
But now I want to dive into this, and I know that's going to sound strange because very often I'm not talking to the wrestling fan here. All right, if you're watching this every week, I'm sure you thought it was awesome. I've seen all the TikToks. I've seen it all. I get it that Cody finished his story. All right. Are you really trying to convince me that little dude is the baddest man in the... I mean, because I'm struggling to believe that.
Rey Mysterio was once the champion, though.
Which was stupid then and it's stupid now.
I agree with you. It's not like he's nothing.
I just want to... And this is a bigger topic for me. So if you think it's weird that we opened with wrestling, I promise you I'm going to tie it into why we're doing that. So you said it was better when we were kids. Those were your words. You said that to me earlier today.
Yes.
Are you sure? Are you sure it was better, or were we just younger and dumber?
Maybe we were just younger and dumber.
Because I started thinking about this. I went back because I like WrestleMania. Okay, this is the one weekend a year that wrestling gets me to be nostalgic because I know the guys that I actually know are going to show up. There are a slew of people that are in wrestling now that I don't know who they are. And your best wrestler is Logan Paul, which should really tell you the state of where your product is.
I don't think he's far off on that.
I'm not. The most athletic thing I saw all weekend was Logan Paul going full pogo stick off a top rope. And I just went, well, damn, he did, didn't he? Look at that feller. He's doing stuff. Now, I don't know why he has a dancing.
Hey, Eddie Guerrero would be proud with that frog splash.
I do not know why he has a dancing protein shake outside the. I don't know. We didn't need that. Let's stop with that. Much like us as children having the IRS man and Doink the clown, there are certain things that we should know in the moment are stupid.
You leave Mike Rotunda out of that.
He was part of that Hall of Fame class. Yeah, that was the thing. When Paul Heyman's the guy, that left a little bit to be desired.
Oh, come on. Paul Heyman he's an institution.
Yeah, Paul Heyman's fun. Name anybody else that was in that group.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, and I get it. You put in Bray Wyatt's dad and Bray Wyatt's uncle. You could have just put in Bray Wyatt. I don't know why that was so hard to figure out, but
was that Rock's grandma got in too?
Yeah, and that's fine. I didn't know who that person was until last night. I mean, I saw Maivia and went, okay, I'm going to assume there's a familial relation there.
I mean, she did try to kill a guy once, so, I mean.
That's fine.
Is it, though?
That's fine. I maybe I'm a purist, but could we get the ones that are actually wrestlers before we go Muhammad Ali and whoever was doing the nunchuck thing?
Yeah, so
anyway. the bigger thought that I'm asking here is, are all these things actually, were they better when we were kids? And I want to tie this into WrestleMania. I want to tie this into college basketball because this may be the least hyped I've ever been for a college basketball championship game. And I can actively bet it legally. And I just don't have much for it. How much of the Final Four did you watch?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit of it.
How much do you think I watched?
I'm going to guess very little.
0 seconds.
0?
I live bet it. Not watching.
No, I did not. I did not watch any of the women's Final Four.
I watched more of the women than I did of the men. It's not even close.
I did not. But I did watch both of the Final Four games UConn and Alabama I didn't watch as much as I did with Purdue and NC State. But
so the parallel that I want to draw here is college basketball, the product actually was better 20 years ago. I understand why a basketball purist does not want to watch what they're being given right now. I get it. It's a 3-point shootout. It's basically the NBA infiltrating college basketball. I get it. I went back and watched some of the Wrestlemanias from when we were kids.
Yeah.
That 90s. I'm a 90s kid.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see that this is better than that, I cannot help you.
Really?
Rowdy Roddy Piper actually did a hate crime in a WrestleMania. Like, we allowed that to happen.
He did.
He hit a dude with a car.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, dig a little deeper. It ain't hard to figure out what I'm trying to say here.
No. And to hear Dustin tell that story today is great. You go find it on YouTube. It's a great story.
The women's game actually is better. Gino Auriemma years ago said it's not about us getting worse when UConn was dominating the sport. It's not about us getting worse. It's about everybody else getting better.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to get worse. Everybody needs to catch up to us. We don't need to come back to the crowd. Women's basketball has done that. In the college game, it has done that. Because you can tie in to a university lean. And there are bad guys. Angel Reese to some people was the bad guy.
Yes.
Kim Mulkey to some people is the bad guy.
Yes.
And I want to shade this into Caitlin Clark. So now she's headed to the WNBA, and I've heard all of these things about she's really going to rejuvenate the WNBA and make – no, she's not. No, she's not. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. It's not going to happen. Let me tell you how this goes. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I won't be. She's going to get drafted by the Indiana Fever. That first game will be the highest-rated game in the history of the WNBA, and it probably won't be all that close. The second game she plays will lose half of the audience. Because that will probably still be on ESPN or ABC. They'll get it in a place that it is easy to consume.
Yeah.
And then what will happen? The same thing that happened to Sabrina Ionescu. But she didn't go to the Final Four. She wasn't. She was every bit the player, if not better. Paige Beckers is every bit the player, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark's the best scorer we've ever seen in women's basketball. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. And she will go to the WNBA, and you're going to run into the same problem that you've run into for 30 years. There's no bad guy. There's no emotion in this. You don't care about the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever because they haven't made you care. They haven't. They haven't made you care.
No.
You care about one individual entity. What is the problem with that? And guess who found this out the hardest way humanly possible? Your male counterparts. The NBA in the 90s was Michael Jordan and a bunch of dudes. What happened when Michael Jordan wasn't Michael Jordan anymore? There went the interest.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't come back until what happened? Kobe and Shaq paired up, and you had a good guy or a bad guy, depending on how you were looking at it. There's no bad guy here. And if you want to give me Angel Reese, that's a first bench player for the Minnesota Lynx. That's not going to be your bad guy. It's just not. You need somebody that's on par. They have that. Sabrina Ionescu's on par. Diana Taurasi's on par. I could do this with a lot of people. I coached this game. But none of them are bad guys. There's no rivalry. There's no reason for me to be emotionally connected. And what happens if Caitlin Clark sprains an ankle? God forbid. Your interest goes away.
Yeah.
Your interest goes away. We've seen this happen. And you can say that I'm being whatever you want to call me. Frankly, I don't care. The minute you prove me wrong, I'll admit that I was wrong. You haven't done it for 30 years. And you're putting a lot of pressure on this girl to go into the WNBA and save the product. It's not going to happen.
She's the only one that can, though. That's the problem with it. Of you have a product that's growing at the college level, and so you feel like it should automatically translate to the professional level.
But it doesn't.
Maybe it will at some point, but it hasn't yet. Maybe Caitlin's the one that will do it. I feel like it has gotten bigger over the years, but the growth has been slow. It's been a slow burn, a slow process. Maybe with so many stars now, it will be. Maybe it will keep the interest once Paige gets into the league, and then you'll have Sabrina playing, and you'll have Caitlin Clark, and she'll be on the same team as Aaliyah Boston. There are young stars that are coming into this league, but it has no interest right now.
You're getting high-level coaching in women's basketball from the Dawn Staleys, Kim Mulkeys, Gina Oriema. There are a lot of really good coaches. You're getting really good ready-made players that are going into this league. Let me tell you a stat, and this is not an opinion, it's a fact. Last year, the WNBA had 1.57 million people walk into their arenas. In an extended schedule, they ballooned the schedule up to 40 games. So it's the most games they've ever played. And it set an attendance record for the last decade. It was bigger 13 years ago.
Per game?
Well, for the year. It's your total attendance for the year. It was bigger 13 years ago. What does that tell you? I get so tired of people telling me that, well, the ratings have never been better. It's not true. I heard this earlier about the NBA. With two people I really respect, you lied to your audience because there's no way you actually believe that. Because it's flat out not true. NBA ratings are better right now than they were 3 years ago, but that's not really saying much. Compare them to 20 years ago. Look at that, and then tell me that this game is growing, and that is my problem. The same powers that be run the WNBA and the NBA. I've watched one sport that was already popular get completely killed because they had no ability to manage stars. Why do I think that the league that is subsidized by the NBA is going to do a better job of that? I don't. I think college basketball did a great job of it. I think college basketball will continue to be really, really good. And the WNBA will just be a thing that happens to college stars that when they run out of eligibility.
Did college basketball do a good job of it? Or did ESPN do a good job of it? ESPN has been leading.
It's one in the same.
ESPN has been leading the charge on women's basketball, trying to just fill your feed with all thing women's basketball. Caitlin every night talking about it.
And they've done a great job of it.
That's what I'm saying. Is this going to be up to ESPN to push WNBA content to get people interested?
Of course it is, because that's who has the media contract. So you're going to see this thrust in front of you, and you're going to have the ability to prove me wrong. If you think I'm a sexist or anything like that, which I have 3 daughters and I coached women's basketball, so I'm going to struggle to go with you on that path. But if that's where you want to go, you have every ability to prove me wrong. And just as Ben Whitley said, but there have been stars. Why would one more all of a sudden change everything? It won't. That's the point. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. If you want to get behind it and you enjoyed this weekend, go support the WNBA. Because until you do, nothing changes. Flat out. Because the one product in all of sports that I can look at, whether it's Wrestlemania, whether it's the Final Four, on the men's side, on the women's side, whether it's baseball, whether it's football. And yes, I know that is sacrilege on this show to say what I'm getting ready to say. The one product that is out there that is better right now than it was 20 years ago is women's basketball. Now, the question is, do you care? And you have every ability to tell me you do. Me and the powers that be at ESPN and all the people that make these decisions, you have every ability to tell me that you care. The question is, will you do it? Because I'm not so sure that's what actually sells. I'm not sure that the product being better is what sells. The NFL, to me, the game itself has never been worse. It's never been worse. You cannot touch a quarterback. The kickoff has been completely pulled out of the game. We're doing things that are borderline arena league nonsense. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You'll whine about it in the offseason. You know why? Because it gives you something to whine about. Kickoff, oh, I can't believe they're doing this XFL crap. September 9th of next year, guess what you'll be? 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Yep. That's where I'll be.
I don't know that the product being better is what sells. I think we're nostalgic about what we saw as kids. which is why WrestleMania that looks exponentially better in 2024 than it did in 1994 or 1996 or 1998. These legendary times. Well, this weekend was better. It was harder to believe, but it was better. I also don't understand why you keep doing something called a finisher that never finishes anyone.
Yeah.
If you have to do it 11 times, not a finisher, bro.
No. It's not as effective as you think it is.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes actually has one where he does his finisher 3 times because that's what it takes. Can
we learn some other moves? And that's my problem. That's my problem, and that's what I want to talk about when we come back from the break, because I disagree. I don't think the product's better right now. There are aspects of it that are better, but the actual product, to me, not better. I don't know. Just my takes from WrestleMania. We'll talk about it up next.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Breathe easier with Zero-Res air duct cleaning. For this month only, mention ESPN Asheville, and you'll get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead.
With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one?
We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery?
We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Alt 2K.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
A commercial-free look back to alternative from the 2000s. With Foo Fighters, Weezer, Linkin Park, Green Day, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Alt 2K, and listen now. iHeartRadio, free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio.
It's bow time. The only thing you want after a made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit with juicy country ham is another one. For a limited time, get 2 ham biscuits for $5. That's 2 fluffy country ham biscuits. Cravings meet savings. Order in the app or at Bojangles. It's bow time.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It is Championship Monday. Jeremy's picks of the night in the national championship coming up at the end of this hour. As he said at the beginning of the program, don't overthink it. Go with what you felt this is going to be the entire time. UConn.
Yes. Just stick with that, and it will be.
Mm-hmm. Over the weekend, we both found ourselves individually. We were not together. This was not a conscious decision of, hey, let's check out WrestleMania. But we both flipped it over at one point. Did you check in both nights, or did you just?
I watched The Rock on Saturday night.
Okay.
And I watched.
So you watched both main events.
Yes, and I watched a little bit more of last night. Not a tremendous amount.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, here's why. Because we've got the draft, and then we're getting ready to go into a dead period. All right, sports for me gets really difficult in May, June, July, and then we get to August, and that's when football kicks back up, and I'm good. I desperately want something to watch. I don't have it. I can't do June baseball. I can't do it. I'm never going to.
Right.
You lost me 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. I would love for the NBA to be a competent product. It's not, and it's not going to be. Frankly, it's getting worse, not better. That's why I look at the Caitlin Clarks or WrestleMania or anything that is give me something.
Well, I mean, it's WrestleMania, and if you ever were a wrestling fan, at some point you're going to check back in. You're going to see if what the product's like, if you ever cared about the product and to begin with. Which there was a time in my life where I was really into wrestling, and when I got to be teenager-ish years, 12 to 18, 19, I was really into it. Like learning all of the moves and learning how to protect each other and learning the science and the artistry that is wrestling.
And privately in our YouTube chat says WWE will never recreate the Attitude Era. Mm-hmm. It'll never be as or more popular than that. See, that's the era I grew up in.
Yes.
And then they steered away from that, and you lost me.
Yes.
And you really lost me. It's like John Cena, never saw it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do not understand why his hairline has bounced back so many times at this point. I mean, no, New Kids on the Block hasn't had as many reunion tours as John Cena's hairline has. And somehow he has more hair at 50 than he had at 20, and that doesn't make any kind of sense.
That's all that money, man. You got to go get the plugs done.
Money can't buy happiness. Yeah, you ever see many old fat people, and you never see many bald rich people. You ever notice that?
It's not, can't get all them fancy, McLovin shows or whatever the hell it is. He's in some new.
Yeah, they tried to promo
Sleazy
that.
McSleezerson show or something, and I'm like, I don't think I want to see him anymore, really. No, I mean, I just watched these matches, and especially with so I swept in on the Usos match. That was the first one that I saw on Saturday.
Great storyline, by the way.
Yeah, and those two guys are great athletes. They put on a pretty good show, but it was missing something. It didn't have that extra oomph that really kept me hanging on. So I'd flipped away. And
I can tell you why. It's because you're not locked into the storyline.
Maybe
that's where. Look, Red Sea said that it's done a complete 180. It's looking a lot better. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That was kind of the point of where I was trying to get with this. Mm-hmm. What I saw over the weekend was exponentially better from a television standpoint than what we grew up with.
They get better at it, right? You get a certain science to it. You get what looks visually appealing. It looks way different now than it did back then, but when I look at it, I see the actual product in the ring. I want to see sequences. I want to see tightness. I mean, I get kind of coachy about it.
And that's where I've been trying to get you since we started this show.
Uh-huh.
We don't live in an era of that.
I know we don't. But that's why it'll never be as good. There are certain guys that can pull it off, but you don't have a lot of those on the roster. And so I look at Bleacher Report's recap of WrestleMania weekend, and they say that they rated all of the matches, and the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns was a 5-star performance. Maybe it is for this era.
The storytelling was phenomenal.
But when I watched it, it wasn't really entertaining all that much.
The storyline was phenomenal.
The whole
having
lot
the
of
Undertaker show up and John Cena, that's why it's getting better to me.
Of course it is, but is that not a bad thing? Is it not a bad thing that you need to recall Undertaker to come in and make your match interesting, that you have to bring John Cena in to get that pop?
No,
because
to
these
me
two
it's-
guys can't carry it on their own.
No, God, no, because they're both 100 and one of them's doing
No.
horrible moves.
I'm talking about Roman and Cody. Can they carry it by themselves?
I mean, they went 37 minutes, so I think you did just fine.
Yeah, they stood around for about 15
and I got
of that.
But that's the marketing side of this, is make it last longer. I got
I get
3
it.
hours of spot to fill.
I understand that, but it doesn't have to be that way. Like you know, and I get that there may be limitations to what we can do, but there also doesn't have to be, I smack him in the face, he goes down and takes a knee, and then there's 5 minutes between that and the next spot. Like, we can kind of move this along.
Oh, yeah, because that's what everybody with a television product wants. Hey, this thing that more people watch than anything else we do, can we do this faster?
Oh, 100%.
Yet nobody's looking for that. Nobody in that television product. Because guess what? You're going to watch it. That's the beauty of,
I guess.
And that's where I'm headed with this, is that we got to stop looking at sports like it's sports. Let me explain. Something that happened last week has been rattling around in my brain for days. Sports freak Brian Hall, boss man here at iHeartRadio, lifelong NC State guy. He was so aghast that I compared NC State to San Diego State that he drove here to tell me how wrong I was. And I listened to everything he said. And everything he said, at the end of it, I could have ended it with, for you. And that is what I'm saying about, we got to stop looking at sports like it's sports. You have an emotional attachment to NC State. You have an emotional attachment to North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I have an emotional attachment to Florida State. None of the three of us have an emotional attachment to what we just said. So you've got to find a way to draw people in when they don't have that attachment. And that's what I'm saying with the WNBA. That's my point. So you say that this will change the way we view it. What happens when the Indiana Fever are 8-32? And then your playoffs happen and there's no Caitlin Clark. Oh, you want me to tell you? The lifelong marketing guy? Let me tell you what happens. Your ratings go because when you base your entire league off one person, they damn well better be there the entire time, because the minute they're gone, your interest leaves too. And that was what I watched with WrestleMania going, you're doing this perfectly. Do I love everything about it? Because it is a lot of, hey, let me slap you and then walk away for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't love that. You know what I did love? When that boom happened and the lights went out and I went, "Ah!" I loved that.
It was not, I'm not going to lie, the goosebumps did pop up because you go, oh, God, it's The Undertaker. I get it.
Now, do I for a second believe that Cody Rhodes, who next to me would look like a smallest child, is your champion? Nope. You know who else I didn't believe that with? Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it work, but you got to realize, and privately, who just seems to be on a banger today in the chat, said sports is a business. That's where I'm headed with this. It's a business. The NFL's product has never been worse, in my opinion, in terms of on the field. Because what do we complain about every single week? Officials. Why do we complain about that? Because we feel like they're corrupting our game. But we still watch it because we're emotionally invested. The officiating in the NCAA tournament has been so unbelievably, ungodly bad that I've been afraid to talk about it because I was afraid I couldn't do it without saying bad words. Nobody cared. The only time you cared is if it hurt your bet. And if I had $1 for every person that sent me a message on Twitter, a text message, an email of, oh, I can't believe the officials burned me on a 4-leg parlay. You know what I haven't gotten one of? I can't believe my team got screwed. North Carolina didn't get one of those. We're Carolina affiliates. I didn't get one of those. Not one time did somebody say, the officials screwed us. I got, man, they really hammered my parlay. That money would have been nice. We're going to lather up and do it again. That's the beauty of this.
Mm-hmm.
Betting can tie all of these things together. But you have to give me a product that is easy for me to watch. And a lot of this is not easy to watch.
So did we just come to the WWE needs betting? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that's
well, no. And there are prop bets that you can do on the WWE.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, if you didn't have Cody Rhodes last night, I'm going to need you to bet better because that was never not going that way.
The fact that they even allow that to happen is the most ridiculous thing. You can't get odds on something like that. What are the odds on something like that?
Oh, they would have been brutal. I didn't bet it. And that's in prop secondary markets.
I was going to say, you got to...
They may pay you in chickens. Like, I mean, I can't...
There's not an actual, like, WWE section where you can go and just, I got Roman Reigns in the money line.
Not at a great partner of ours like DraftKings Sportsbook.
Okay.
There are places you can do it. We have our first super chat of the day, and I think this might be the smartest thing anybody said on this show in a long time.
All right.
Yeah! It's from Curtis Davis. And I love you for saying this because you said it in a way that I couldn't say it any better. Tank is the equivalent of saying Netflix will never be as popular or as big as Roosevelt's fireside chats. I'm sure they were good, but for people born after, Stone Cold Steve Austin retired, it doesn't mean anything. Exactly. Mm-hmm. You're hearkening back to a day that's not coming back.
Yes.
It's never happening because it's not the society we live in.
Right.
We live in a TikTok generation.
Mm-hmm.
I once took a psychology class where the professor looked every one of us dead in the face and said, every 20 years, the attention span of the average person gets cut in half. It's happened 2 times in my lifetime because I grew up in the era of music videos. I watched music videos get cut in half with TRL because you had 4 to 5 minute music videos. Then they got cut down, Total Request Live with Carson Daly, because you just couldn't invest 5 minutes because we were so busy. Sorry. We're waiting on AOL to connect. And now we've done it again with TikTok. You're down to a minute. You got a minute to captivate me. And it has to look big and it has to look important, or I'm on to other stuff because I got this little thing in my pocket that will attract my attention. And so many sports don't do a good job of that.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball is the worst. The most exciting 60 seconds of baseball in the last 30 years would probably be less exciting than the commercials in Wrestlemania last night, which is why one of those sports is the other sport, it stayed pretty steady or grown.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be my caveat to women's basketball. College, you have a ready-made supply of stars. You just have to make them stars. ESPN did it with Caitlin Clark. I'm really glad you said that because that's exactly who I would give the credit to.
Mm-hmm.
The logo on the door notwithstanding. You did that. Can the NCAA do it again? Because you're going to get a lot of those.
You better hope somebody's chasing a record.
You know, it's funny you said, I don't know that the record was that big a deal.
No, it was 100% a big deal.
I don't know that it was that big a deal because she was popular before that.
Mm-hmm.
Then she broke the record and we're still watching. Why are we still watching? If it's the record, why am I still watching? She started broken it.
Because now I'm invested. You got me watching because of the record, because she was chasing the record.
I would be interested in the YouTube chat. How many of you actually watched any of the women's tournament because of a record?
Mm-hmm.
You tie it back to the regular season, whatever you want to. Because I'm just telling you, the numbers here don't add up. You had 3 million people watching her against Nebraska trying to set that record. You had 14 million people watch yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Because we want greatness.
I'm not a math magician, but that math don't math.
The interest didn't get bigger?
Oh, no, it definitely got bigger as the stakes got bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure it translates to the pro game because you don't have stakes like that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
The WNBA playoffs are not going to do that for me, especially if Caitlin Clark's not involved.
Nope. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry weather continues, but showers will be back by Tuesday. Partial sun this afternoon. 73 should do it. Tonight, thickening clouds down to about 52. Tomorrow, a little cooler and some showers late morning, scattered around into the afternoon, 65. Tuesday night, showers. Wednesday, scattered showers, 72. Thursday, showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms with heavy rain, 70 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Look at all the complaints that our competitors have on their BBB ratings. GimmeTheVin.com is a 5-star rated company. We do what we say we're going to do. It's that easy.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades. Regenerative medicine. If you are tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp. Dr. Scheinkupp is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about some exciting options. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top quality fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and Kansas City, the Chiefs, and the Royals may be leaving town, maybe getting out of the city. Or, well, I mean, not like moving to San Antonio or anything like that. But will you be sad? Will you be sad to see that no longer would Arrowhead be the home of the Kansas City Chiefs? Last week was Election Day. They went to the polls and voted in Jackson County, Missouri, and they voted down the sales tax increase that would have helped fund ballpark projects for both the Chiefs and the Royals. A 5/8 cent sales tax that already exists would have been extended for 40 years to help fund these projects. And the voters of Jackson County said no. By an overwhelming margin, 59%. That's a pretty marked landslide in terms of election outcomes. About a 10-point loss is huge in any election. So now the owner, or the wife of the owner of the Kansas City Royals, says we're done. Chiefs and the Royals, she's speaking for both apparently, we are done negotiating with Jackson County. They will meet our needs or we will leave. Do you care?
No.
I mean, Arrowhead is an institution.
Yeah, and it's not like they would be going. I don't care about the institution.
You don't care about the stadium?
There's not a stadium in the NFL. A Soldier Field, It's a dump. In large part, it's a dump. Lambeau, why are we playing football games in an igloo?
See, I can't. As a fan of the Boston Red Sox, you better never leave that stadium.
Yeah,
I want it forever. Thing. You keep building around it. They were going to try to do that. The Hunt family was going to try to do that with Arrowhead, but it looks like they're not going to now.
Yeah, as a guy that's not huge on the in-stadium experience anyway, new is always better. This is a time that works. Go to one of these newly built – go to Atlanta, and then, I don't know, go to a stadium that's a little older than that. You pencil in whichever one you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me which experience was more fun for you.
Do you think that if they had gone individually here and, say, the Chiefs cut the Royals out of the deal and went with a 20-year extension instead of the 40-year extension, do you think they'd have done it?
No.
Really? Okay.
No, this is one of those times that, and I'm not going to get political here, but this is one of those times that fans do not do a good enough job of rallying support, and the people that get behind these bills, they come off as greedy billionaires that want you to pay for their things. What they don't do a good job of explaining is you do realize that the gross domestic product of our city will sink $8,000 in terms of per person if we go away. That's what you don't do a good job of explaining. People go, oh, my taxes are going to go up? I don't even like the Chiefs. No. No. Do you like working? Do you like your gas not being – that's a bad example because that's set by the state.
Yeah. I feel like if there had been more of a threat that we would leave the area, maybe they would maybe they could have got that passed. But it doesn't matter. There's going to be a neighboring county that's going to be like, yeah, come here, bring your big stadium over here.
Yeah, I don't care. As long as you've still got the drum and it's still the Chiefs and it's still Pat Mahomes, I don't care. It's fine. You can play it in Dallas. You can play it in Waterworld for all I care. Just make sure on Sunday it's still there.
I'm sure there will be Chiefs fans that shed a tear over the retiring of Arrowhead. But we're still, 10 years away from that at least.
I didn't really ever think I would say this, but I'm not sure that I don't want former White Sox manager, player, and current broadcaster Ozzie Guillen to be my doctor. Because he has a take on why Major League Baseball players are getting hurt so often.
Okay.
They're too healthy.
That's one way to put it.
Mm-hmm. His exact quote was, you can't pull fat. I remember guys having 12 Budweisers and 3 cheeseburgers, and they played all year long.
There you go.
That sounds insane.
It's not, though.
On the face. It's really not.
That's why I think so many people get sick, because we're too clean. There are, Is
that why you eat gas station hot dogs that have been on the roller for 43 years?
Kinda. Got to test yourself every now and then. Got to bring us. But if your body has no ability to build up an immunity to anything, you're constantly, sanitizing yourself and not being exposed to any germs. I think there's something to that.
Well, you think about the Iron Men of all the sports.
I'm not saying eat stuff off the floor. I'm just saying.
No, I think you kind of were. That's exactly what it sounded like you were saying. You can protect guys too much.
You can.
And Major League Baseball, Steven Strasburg just retired. You do remember that's who a lot of this rest and extra days and.
Yes.
You ruined him.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Strasburg was the filthiest pitcher I've ever seen. But you babied him along to such a point. And you were messing with the schedule, and he couldn't pitch but so much. He's the poster child for getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
NBA players. Name me an NBA player that you feel like's a real Iron Man right now. The best players in the league have missed extended time, except Luka Doncic, who's a little doughy.
That's a good point.
Just
Nikola
saying.
Jokic.
Yeah,
He didn't
Nikola
get hurt.
Jokic, he might be the Iron Man of the NBA, and he looks like a dude that would crush beers at a softball league.
Yeah.
That dude looks like his diet consists of Wendy's cheeseburgers and Bud Lights. Oh, wait, that's Colorado Coors Lights.
No, he eats pure shredded horse and and drinks Hefeweizens. He's got that meaty
At Sports Tech
that
ESPN.
meaty diet.
Nikola Jokic looks like he leads a fun life.
He looks like he would.
I feel very sure he does.
And then I hear stories of he spent his weekend at the horse races, and I go, okay, maybe he doesn't have the greatest life. I don't know.
You don't like horse races?
What is there to like about a horse race?
Well, I mean, you are the worst bettor I've ever seen in my life.
No doubt.
I guess I understand how you wouldn't understand the perk of
Pick
a horse.
race. How many are there? 10? Okay, the brown one. There's 7 brown ones. I don't know. Which one's tallest?
Which one's tallest?
Yeah.
You do strike me as the guy that would go to a horse track and go, Buttons. I'll put $5 on Mr. Buttons.
Mm-hmm.
He's 1,000 to 1. Even
great
better.
odds. Great odds.
And I would
that payout's going to be great.
And I would look down at them trying to put him in the stall and go, I think you just set $5 on fire. That horse does not look as though it is in peak physical fitness.
Which one of them has the longest nose? Why? How would you even know? Is that something that you study before you go to a horse track?
Well,
do you go
horse racing? I'm a little biased because I've got a
because you got a guy.
I do have
because
a guy.
he's got a guy.
And actually, my guy in horse racing is a girl.
Ah,
she's
interesting.
a trainer.
Interesting.
I'm not going to tell you she bats 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
She bats a percentage that would make Pete Rose jealous.
That's good to know. I don't get it. I don't understand that. Like, oh, we're going over to the horse track today. Okay.
Oh, horse racing the track is fun. Now, the track is fun for high-end races. What you don't want to be is the guy at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday that skips out of work with his betting slips to go down to the dog track. That dude needs a meeting bad.
Yes. Okay, so horse track, kind of classy.
Yeah,
dog
Mitch
track,
Julep's, having a good
that guy's doing crimes.
I didn't say
He
he was
thought
doing
about
crimes.
it anyway.
There are certain things in life that people can say to you that should be deemed as a cry for help. I spent my lunch break pounding Budweiser Originals and betting on pooches at the dog track. You should probably get that feller's friends and family together and have a chat because he's struggling with some things in life.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Let's talk some draft stuff. Coming up after the top of the hour break, Jeremy's picks of the night coming up in Green on Green, and it's time for the Amon-Ra St. Brown list.
It's one of my favorite days of the year.
The offensive side of the ball. These are all the prospects in the NFL draft that Jeremy likes better than the industry, and he's got a pretty high hit rate on these guys. So the Amon-Ra St. Brown offensive team coming up after the top of the hour.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The wait is over. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of NASCAR, is now live in North Carolina. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime, anywhere, right here in the Tar Heel State with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with the promo code WPEK and bet $5 will receive $200 instantly in bonus bets. DraftKings has the best features, including same-game parlays, player props, and more, with fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using code WPEK and bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code WPEK. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. NASCAR is not a sponsor of this promotion and used under license.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA choice and prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
We're to Championship Monday in college basketball, and we can take the events of the weekend to tell us how to wager tonight. I'm Jeremy Green of thesportsocracy.com, and this is Green on Green, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Tonight, UConn is a 6.5-point favorite. Over-under is 145.5. If you use UConn's game against Alabama, you can see a trend that has developed with UConn that has made me a considerable amount of money through this tournament. Like any good predator, they have a bad habit of playing with their food, which is why I started doubling down with about 6 minutes to go in the first half against Alabama, and it was very lucrative for me. Tonight, you'll probably be able to do the same thing. I look for Purdue to come out with a pretty good swing. I would say this game stays close early, but there's no doubt in my mind UConn is the best team in this game. So I'm going to take UConn minus the 6.5, and I will keep an eye on the live betting markets to see if that line goes down the closer we get to halftime, to try to make this an even more profitable finale to the college basketball season. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with my promo code JGBETS and bet $5 will receive $250 instantly in bonus bets. Whether you prefer playing player props, same game parlays, or you just want to play that gut feeling in the money line, you can do it all with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using code JGBETS and bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code JGBETS. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only, new customers only, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry weather continues, but showers will be back by Tuesday. Partial sun this afternoon. 73 should do it. Tonight, thickening clouds down to about 52. Tomorrow, a little cooler and some showers late morning, scattered around into the afternoon, 65. Tuesday night, showers. Wednesday, scattered showers, 72. Thursday, showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms with heavy rain, 70 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're in crisis, call 988 to get immediate assistance.
Recovery is within your reach. You can do it. You just have to do it.
For resources to help you in your recovery, call 211 or go to buncombecounty.org/safer. Hope and healing, closer than you think.
Introducing Tanzite Stone Tile Flooring, a game changer in the tile industry. Say goodbye to the trade-off between durability and easy installation with Tanzite's revolutionary indoor-outdoor stone tile. Visit Tanzite.com to see how our tile is installed without concrete or mortar. Instead, our innovative rubber gasket system connects the tiles together. Each tile coming pre-assembled, you simply grab one and place it. No expertise needed. At Tanzite.com, you can see how our foam back tiles contour to cover any existing floor while insulating against sound and cold. Beautiful and versatile. Tanzite tile adapts to indoor or outdoor use, from kitchens to patios, on concrete basements or wooden decks. All with the durability of stone that's guaranteed for life. Witness this innovative product yourself and order a sample today at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. Your thoughts on all of the things talked about on the program here. Best comments always get highlighted throughout the program, each and every day. It's time for Jeremy and his Amon-Ra St. Brown team for 2024. This is the team that Jeremy assembles each and every year, which is guys that he likes better than the industry. So it's not necessarily these are the guys that are going to be drafted high in the draft. These are the guys that he thinks should go first among their group. Some of them are.
That's not true.
Some of them are.
No, this is, I think, higher of them than the industry on the whole.
Exactly.
And the reason it's named the Amon-Ra St. Brown team is if you were with us during the draft that Amon-Ra St. Brown came out in, I had a top 15 grade on him. I had a first-round grade on him. I literally screamed for 2 full days, I do not understand why people are not seeing this. And he's actually even better than I thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
So he will probably, after the Chase Claypool fiasco, that was the original name of this team, and then he found TikTok and went crazy. So we'll probably just nestle on Amon-Ra St. Brown forever.
Yes. So offensive team, and then we'll do the defensive team tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We got to figure out who we're going to name that after. Oh, it's Jermaine Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah,
we
Jermaine
already
Johnson.
decided that. So the quarterback that you like better than the industry in this year's draft class is?
Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really all that close.
The overall industry doesn't have him at 1. Some do.
Well,
like
it's
you.
not. It's not so much that they don't have him at 1. It's where they have him in this class. PFF has him at 22.
Mm-hmm.
Scouts Inc., I think, has him in the 30s. Unless they've changed the rankings, which is entirely possible. They do that about every 15 seconds. They had him really low. I don't know if they've come up on him. It seems to me that I never see him really high. I never see him at 5, which is where I have him.
Mm-hmm.
I do have him as the number 1 quarterback in this class. I believe in him more than Caleb Williams. It's not really all that close. he played much better competition in the SEC. There is a little bit of a fear that he's built thinner than you would like, and he does run a lot. In this era, I don't care. It just doesn't mean that much to me. And with the expectations that we're putting on Caleb Williams of, if I hear him compared to Pat Mahomes one more time, I swear to you I'm going to rip my hair out.
But he does so much after the play.
Off angle and off schedule plays and arm angle and stop. You know who else you said that same thing about? Zach Wilson. So cool it on that. I just don't buy it with Caleb Williams, and I never really have. I know that he's going to go one, and I feel like Washington is in the catbird seat to take an actual franchise quarterback, pair him with Terry McLaurin, pair him with Jahan Dotson. They've got extra picks to get more to put around him. And if I had the number one pick, I would be taking Jaden Daniels. And I don't care about the backlash. This is my job. You don't get fired here.
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
And I think he's so dynamic, and he's fought through so many things that I don't really see much of a bust in him. Am I going to tell you he's going to be a top 10 quarterback in this league? Not necessarily. Do I see a path that 3 years from now Washington's looking for another quarterback? No, I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't. Short of injuries, which I can't forecast.
Yep.
Now, the difference in this year's team from past years is we have a first team and a second team.
Okay.
It's the first time I've ever done a second team.
Okay, so Jaden Daniels is your first team quarterback. Your second team quarterback is who?
Michael Penix Jr. Now that's going to sound a little strange because I'm not wild about Penix. When he ran, that made me feel better. When the medical came back, that made me feel better. I'm still worried that he has not been hit much, but he's also succeeded everywhere he's gone. And I keep hearing Penix behind Bo Nix, and that's just dumb talk to me. I cannot figure out how anybody that really understands the sport watches those two guys and thinks one of them is better than the other. I don't see how you get to Bo Nix is better than Michael Penix. I can't figure it out. Who's more mobile? Michael Penix. Who has better eye discipline? Michael Penix. Who has a bigger arm? Michael Penix. Oh, but Bo Nix is really accurate. So is Baker Mayfield.
That's the one. Is he more accurate?
And it would be one thing if Michael Penix was super inaccurate. Mm-hmm. He's not.
And does he – how does the fact that Bo Nix has been in so many offenses play with scouts? Because I've heard that several times about him is the fact that he has so many different experiences that means he can pick up a playbook quickly. Do you buy that?
No.
Okay.
That's top 5 dumbest things I think I've ever heard a scout say.
Okay.
Oh, he's had a lot of playbooks, which means he's going to understand them. Well, here's the part of that bothers me. He sucked through 3 of them. So, okay. Bo Nix has Kenny Pickett disorder. You were absolutely an afterthought until you were 3 years older than everybody you played against. Mm-hmm. Michael Penix might have been the best player in college football at Indiana with nothing around him. And yes, he got hurt.
Oh, come on. He had Ty Freifogel at Indiana. That dude.
I love when you make points for me.
Yeah, exactly. That was my point. He was throwing to Ty Freifogel.
I don't get it. I feel like Penix is going to go. This is one of those times that maybe I'm giving too much credit to the scouting industry on the whole. I feel like Penix is going to go higher than you think, and Bo Nix is going to fall. Mm-hmm. Because right now it feels like you're going to have the 4 quarterbacks in the top 4, which is not as foregone a conclusion as everybody thinks. And yes, I know I have waffled on that. I get a lot of information about this, and I got to discern what's what. And maybe I'm giving people too much credit. I do not see how you're going to take J.J. McCarthy at 4, especially having to trade up to get him.
Mm-hmm. Trending the other way now is what you're saying.
I'm not going to say it's trending the other way. Every person I talk to says, well, right now 4 quarterbacks go in the top 4. But I don't get it. The one way that it makes sense in my head is if somebody goes off script. and you have Caleb go 1, Jaden Daniels go 2, and then J.J. McCarthy goes 3 to New England. Then Drake May's sitting there, and this unabashed love Minnesota has for Drake May makes sense because then you make the move with Arizona. Arizona trades down. They can get back up to get Neighbors or a Dunze or whatever it is that they do. May be able to sit pat at 11 and get a Dunze. That would make sense. Somebody's going to just absolutely package their future to go get J.J. McCarthy. That doesn't pass the smell test to me.
Running backs for the Amon-Ra St. Brown team.
I'm going to level with you. This is the worst running back class I've ever seen, and it's not even close. It's really deep. It's just hard to get to who the best ones are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like you've got about 20 guys that can play a role. And it's much easier for me to figure out the one that's really overrated than the ones that are really underrated.
Okay.
Blake Corum is the one that's really overrated. I see a path that he lasts until the 3rd day. I think we could still be talking about he's still on the board in the 5th round.
Wow. Why?
He just doesn't do anything all that well. From an NFL standpoint. Oh, we've got the biggest offensive line in the league, or in the nation. We've got 4 guys that are going to be NFL offensive linemen, and he can see holes. Well, so could every running back. So could your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a difference maker at the next level in any way. There are 2 running backs that I really see difference maker. And one of them you're going to call me a homer, but it's Trey Benson.
He's team 1?
He is first team.
Okay.
For me, he's RB1. I go back to Dalvin Cook. I've done this for a long time. And I remember watching Dalvin Cook at Florida State just going, why? How are people not seeing this? He's so fast. He's so electric. Trey Benson is all of those things, and he's bigger. He's really thickly built. And he can catch out of the backfield. That's his worst-case scenario, is that he becomes the second part of a committee with a bruiser like Derrick Henry. I keep looking at him in Baltimore and just going, that's where that needs to go. It's not gonna, but that's where it needs to go.
Okay.
Home run hitter speed. And he's just, to me, he's elite at everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he's ever going to be a bell cow running back where he gets 22 touches a game. But I don't see a path that he doesn't carve out a nice role getting 15. Dallas Cowboys, you should be just praying that he somehow makes his way to your building.
Now, is he not most people's number 1 running back in this class,
Jonathan Brooks is a lot of people's number 1. Jalen Wright is getting into that territory because he ran really fast. There's no consensus, and to me there should be. I've seen Trey Benson as low as 9 among running backs, which is stupid to me.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
Jonathan Brooks, if he was healthy, would be the one. If he hadn't blown out his ACL, he would be the one.
Mm-hmm.
With that, Benson's my 1 and Brooks is a 1B.
Okay. Second team running back.
Oh, well, you've got 2 running backs on the first team.
Oh, excuse me.
You should already know. You should already know. It's my little best friend. We became best friends at the Senior Bowl.
Oh, this is the kid from Troy?
Kamani Vidal.
Yeah.
I want him to be a New York Jet so bad I can't stand it.
What is it that makes him stand out?
He jumped off at the Senior Bowl. He was the best player on the field, and it was super obvious. I had my dad with me, and he kept asking me, hey, who's the one in the white helmet? It's the same one from the last 7 times you asked me that. That's Kamani Vidal, and he's real good. And then I went back and watched the tape. He was borderline unstoppable. And you're going to get him in the 5th round. I think he ends up on a smart team. He can do everything to me. Yes, he's a little short. All these running backs are a little short, except for Braylon Allen and Audric Estime. And I'm not sure either one of them can do anything but run in a straight line. I know that Audric Estime thing's going to get people in the chat. We have some Audric Estime truthers in our chat, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wild about him. I get why you are. If I was taking one of the big bruisers, it would be Braylon Allen.
I was going to say, is this because he ran slow?
No, he was faster at his pro day. I just don't really care. He's got that big, plodding, I'm good. I'm just good.
Okay.
It's not my kind of running back. I don't think it's a modern day NFL running back. I felt the same way about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he could catch. But I like Vidal and Benson, to me, are both just dogs. And I would be happy to have either one on my team.
All right, first team running backs for the Amon-Ra St. Brown team in 2024, Trey Benson, Kamani Vidal. How about the second team?
Rasheen Ali. It was the kid from Marshall that got hurt. He had I think he tore his pec or something at the Senior Bowl. He will go either undrafted or he will be really, really late. And the reason I wanted to get his name on this list, I have to keep reiterating this. The 6th and the 7th round in this draft will produce some of the most god-awful drafted NFL players you will ever see in your life.
Okay.
Usually I grade 300 players. I boosted it up to 500 this year. I have 500. I have it. But I get to about 200 and go, oh, God, I couldn't use a draft pick on you. I couldn't do it. I'll give you $25,000 as an undrafted free agent. And I look at a guy like Rasheen Ali. Okay, maybe he doesn't play the first half of the year. Mm-hmm. I don't care. That's a usable piece. That's not me setting a draft pick on fire. And if you look around the league, trust me, there are teams that are going to take it. Take that 6th rounder. I don't care. If you can give me somebody that is a usable piece, you can have it. NIL. Mm-hmm. We have not recycled these guys through yet. You've got those mid-tier guys that are staying in school because they can make almost as much in school as they can in the NFL.
Yeah.
And the hope is that they prop themselves up like Bo Nix did. And then the other running back on the second team is Dylan Lobby, kid from New Hampshire, who's he also became my best friend at the combine, or at the Senior Bowl, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. He was the kid that had the fan, wasn't he?
He was the kid whose family I met.
Oh,
and
okay.
the dad broke 4 metatarsals in my hand, shaking my hand.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with the family. I love them all.
Okay.
I hope they show up in Detroit because I would love to see that family again. The mom hugged me, and I'm not a hugger in any way. But
seems weird.
Oh, I do this. I'm a draft guy. I really like your son. Small school. Mm-hmm. You know, the kid wanted to be seen. He's done a great job in the process. I'll tell you who he reminds me of, and this is going to be kind of a lazy comparison. He reminds me of Danny Woodhead. You are really short, but you might be the toughest dude on this field. And I love that. I want that element in my running back room. Am I telling you he's ever going to be a starter in this league? No, probably not. Danny Woodhead wasn't either. Mm-hmm. He had a nice role with the Jets. He had a nice role with the Patriots. He had a nice role with the Chargers. And that's exactly what I see this kid doing.
Yep. It's very wide receiver heavy class this year. So Flostradamus decided he needs 4 spots per team.
I mean, we're playing a little spread, no big deal. Bob Brown and Evan Doyle both said they love Isaac Guerrero, the kid from Louisville.
Okay.
I would agree with you, and I like him too. The problem is that I don't like him better than the industry does. I'm a fan, but just understand there are teams that have him as the second best running back in this class, and I think that's too high.
Again, the Amon-Ra St. Brown team is named after one of Jeremy's biggest hits in the NFL draft. It is the guys that he likes better than the industry. We'll continue with the all Amon-Ra St. Brown offensive team coming up next. It's time for the wide receivers.
In this week's Marketers Report, Angela Zepeda, CMO Hyundai Motor America, discusses measuring audio.
The measurement capability within audio, I think, surprised all of us. We have seen a huge return on our investment. Seeing real numbers has helped us continue to invest.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the data, audiences, and influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, You're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can of kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The Amon-Ra St. Brown team at ESPN draft nerd Jeremy Green puts out his team every year of the guys that he likes in the draft better than the industry. This year, he just had so many prospects that he's in love with that he goes first and second team Amon-Ra St. Brown team this year. Doing the offense today, it's time for the wide receiver class, and we've talked about how deep this wide receiver class is. You went 8, so you're running the oop-de-oop.
Oh, yeah.
Just overload them on the right side and then tweeter one-on-one on the left.
I have a guy that I could take in every round of this draft and feel just fine with him as one of my top 3.
That's a pretty deep class. The number 1 guy on your list.
Rome Odunze.
We all should have known that. We know you're crazy about Rome. What separates him from the rest?
Well, it's not what separates him from the rest. It's the fact that people are treating him like a consolation prize, and to me that is really stupid. This receiver class to me is a 1A, a 1B, and a 1C. And yes, they're in that order. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze. There is this narrative that Rome is just the one that a team will settle for. There are teams that like him better than Neighbors. There are teams that like him better than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And they should. And they should. He's a phenomenal wide receiver. And if you think he's going to have trouble separating in the NFL, you're not watching the tape. You're just not. Kid was always open. And I understand he played in the Pac-12. I get that. I understand that Michigan contained him with 2 guys on him. They played safety over the top on him the entire game. He's not going to beat us.
Mm-hmm.
We will let the other 2 receivers, who are also pretty good in their own right, frankly, one of them's on the second team. We'll let them beat us, but we're not going to let you beat us. Because he is the home run threat. And my Lord have mercy, how much do I love the thought of him being a New York Jet. You tell me I've got him, Mike Williams, and Garrett Wilson. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's. Can we do the draft day thing where I wind up with 11-2 and can take Brock Bowers?
You better hope Aaron Rodgers took all his ayahuasca to juice that arm up.
Aaron will be just
because they will cover a lot of yardage if that is the case and he falls to your team.
So that is the one that I would take in the first round and feel just fine with.
Okay. Are we doing this by round?
Yeah, we'll do it by round.
Okay. So second round.
Have 2 in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman and Ricky Pearsall. One of the most, and now I am a lifelong Florida State fan, so obviously I saw a lot of Keon Coleman this year.
Mm-hmm.
He did not run as fast as you would think, and then he ran the fastest in the drills of any receiver out there. I should tell you, so he's not track fast. I never once watched Keon Coleman for an entire season at Florida State went, he's not fast enough. He's really tall, and he is freakishly shifty. I do think he's going to fall into the second round. Running slow in a class this deep is going to push him down. I don't care. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, let him fall to me. Let him fall to me at 32. Fafo. Falafel around and find out. You give me that kid with Hollywood Brown with Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I won without either one of those two. What do you think I'm going to do with them?
All right, and then Ricky Pearsall.
Pearsall is a Florida guy. So, I mean, you may have to explain the playbook to him really slow. I'm kidding. I hated playing against him. Every time I saw him, if I was wagering against them when Florida State played them, that was the only dude I was worried about. And he was still open all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to blow you away with height, weight, speed, but he kind of reminds me of Austin Collie. Played for Indianapolis back in the day.
I remember, yeah.
There's nothing about when you walk through the hotel room, the hotel lobby, I'm not going to look at you and go, that dude's a stud NFL player. Then he gets on a field, and I just go, how in the world are we supposed to defend him again? Because I don't really know. I don't know.
Right. So Ricky Pearsall, you think? Is he somebody's slot specialist?
He could be. I think he can play on the outside too if he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
He's really multiple, and I really, really like him.
All right. So the third round.
I have 2. One on the first team, one on the second team. Malachi Corley. That should not surprise you. Kid out of Western Kentucky. He's my favorite slot receiver in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I had Ladd McConkey. Because I think he can just do things Ladd can't. I'm not going to burn you deep with Ladd McConkey. He can run a route with the best of them. We're talking about him going to the back end of the first round. Corley may fall out of the third. I love the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a ton of teams have brought him in. He was the best player on the field every single time he stepped on the field. And I think that will translate.
Okay.
Starting off the second team, Jalen Polk, the other wide receiver from Washington. He is not as flashy. He is more, he just does the yeoman's work of, I got to go across the middle? Cool. I'm going to get my head knocked off? Don't care. For whatever reason, I keep seeing Jalen Polk as the Tyler Boyd replacement in Cincinnati, and I can't stop.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. And then?
Now we get into more fluid with rounds.
Okay.
Johnny Wilson out of Florida State.
What makes that fluid?
Because I can't figure out exactly where he's going to go. Matt Miller had him in the 7th round the other day, and I felt blood come out of my ears.
Ooh. That doesn't
I love
seem like
Matt, and I think he is really dialed in. He's one of the best mock drafters in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a path that happens.
Is he hurt?
He was hurt a lot his last year at Florida State. Keon Coleman came in and really took the shine off of him. But he is really, really big. He's 6'7",
mm-hmm.
really, really fluid, and has really strong hands. I know he serves a role, and he's one that he's going to end up with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how he's going to fall in their laps, but he's going to, and he will be a really irritating weapon for the Ravens for a long time to come. And you can say it's because I'm a homer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I've watched that kid for 2 solid years. I never at any point thought he was anything less than a second-round pick.
Okay. So he's a late-ish round wide receiver.
He'll go in day 3.
That could pop somewhere.
He'll go in day 3 and shouldn't.
Why does that sound like Pittsburgh Steeler to me rather than Baltimore Raven?
Pittsburgh makes sense.
They just seem to have a knack for doing that.
Pittsburgh makes sense.
Right after Johnny Wilson.
Now we have 2 that are more later round.
Okay.
One of them should not surprise you because I think I said his name 414 times after I got back from Mobile. Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint.
Yes.
The momentum on him has died. He has gone back to exactly where, in terms of public perception, he's gone back to where he was before I went to the Senior Bowl. And I get it. You're reverting back to, and a lot of times the scouts do this, you revert back to what you previously thought on a guy. Because he hasn't played a game. The problem is that tells me you didn't go back and watch the tape again. Because that's what I did. And when I watched the tape, I realized that I had preconceived notions from watching this team on Saturdays, and I wasn't actually seeing on a television broadcast, I wasn't seeing what the scouts tape will give you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw there is a big-bodied receiver that it might take a year or two, but if you told me I could have Jermaine Burton, who comes with a lot of character red flags, or Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, I'll take Jack Saint, and won't even think about it.
Yep.
And one of them will go 3 rounds later than the other.
He wasn't always there for the Georgia Bulldogs, but when he was holding on to the ball. It's one of the number one things you can ask for in a wide receiver is to find somebody who can make that contested catch when you need it most. And Marcus made a lot of those plays for the Georgia Bulldogs. The final one for the Amon-Ra St. Brown second team.
I'm not even 100% sure this kid's going to get drafted. You said, when we were doing this before, you mentioned White Jr., the kid from Western Carolina.
Yes.
I considered him in this spot. I think he does get drafted. I'm not as positive that Ryan Flournoy from Southeast Missouri, I'm not as Southeast Missouri State, I'm not as sure that he gets drafted, and he should. To me, they're very similar. They're very similar type prospects in that you played at a super small school, and level of competition will always be an issue. You're developmental. I have a funny feeling both of those guys turn into usable pieces in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that scares me is that you can only have so many receivers that are usable. I mean, every team can't have 7. But Flournoy's a guy that I would be willing to put the time in on.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Amon-Ra all-offensive team for Flostradamus for 2024, unveiling the guys that he likes better than the industry. We still got tight ends, all the offensive linemen to get to after the next break.
We have some questions and some comments that we'll get to after the next break as well.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry weather continues, but showers will be back by Tuesday. Partial sun this afternoon. 73 should do it. Tonight, thickening clouds down to about 52. Tomorrow, a little cooler and some showers late morning, scattered around into the afternoon, 65. Tuesday night, showers. Wednesday, scattered showers, 72. Thursday, showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms with heavy rain, 70 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Compassionate care starts with respected and valued employees. Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation offers careers with purpose and opportunities for advancement for those looking for meaningful employment or anyone searching for a leading short-term rehabilitation and long-term care facility for loved ones. Sandstone prides itself on unmatched staff and resident satisfaction. We set the standard for excellence in employment and compassionate care. Discover the Sandstone Way online at sanstonehealth.com.
Progressive asks, what do a slow Friday night, bored teenage boys,
I'm bored.
a pack of fireworks,
This is gonna be awesome.
and a teetering branch suspended over your car have in common?
Look out!
They can quickly wreak havoc on your slow Friday night.
Uh-oh.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top-quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Today could be a very weird day. Jeremy, outside it's going to get a little weird in a little while. We've got the Eclipse going on. The 85% totality of coverage that we're going to get here in the Asheville area is going to make things look a little weird outside. If you're going out to check it out, make sure that you have sunglasses, or not your sunglasses, but the actual glasses that will let you look at the sun.
Can anybody explain to me how a very expensive pair of Oakleys doesn't protect my eyes better than a $1.25 piece of crap that you bought at the Home Depot?
It's just made out of different stuff, right?
I'm sure it is.
I don't know exactly what it's made out of, but...
By the way, all these people that go blind from staring at eclipses, you ever met one of those? I'm not telling you to look at the sun.
It's just you could,
Well, I mean, when we were kids, it was, don't stare at the sun! You go blind immediately!
Yes.
I went to school with some real, just dumbass kids. And I've never met one that went, I stared at the sun during an eclipse.
Ain't not one of them.
I had like a dog and a cane. I've never seen one of those.
You could burn your retinas by doing so. It's just
I get it.
Things. Obviously, when anything happens celestial like this with, there being a full moon or an eclipse of some kind, things always go weird, and your people come out of the woodwork, Jeremy.
What do you mean my people?
Theorists. The conspiracy theorists come out of the woodwork.
You mean
So I just wanted to go
ones
through,
that know what's happening?
I just wanted to go through the USA Today has a running article on their website of debunking misinformation, conspiracies sparked by the 2024 solar eclipse. They have a fact-check wing of Gannett newspapers that is focused.
Yeah, Gannett, that's really who I'm leaning on for my fact-checking.
On all of these.
Was Facebook busy?
Here. One claim, April 8th solar eclipse will cause 3 to 5 days of darkness. That is not the case.
That is not true.
That is, it's about 4 minutes that this is going to darken out the sky. By the way, we did get, I heard this morning, Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel talking on WWNC about Brevard may get 100% totality out there. So if you live in the Brevard area, May be pretty cool. Once that happens, and please do send us some pictures. NASA, this is the claim, NASA is launching 3 rockets at 3 moons during this eclipse. You think that's real? You think that's actually going to happen?
Prove to me that it's not.
NASA plans to launch 3 rockets during the April 8th eclipse to study the effect on the upper atmosphere. The Earth has only 1 moon, so what other moons are they shooting at there, bruh?
The 2 that you can't see from the ground that were developed by chemtrails.
Are they on the other side of the flat Earth? Is that what this is?
Nope, the Earth's not flat. We all know that.
Are you sure?
100%. Well, I mean, not all of us. Some of us have gone a little off the reservation.
There is a claim going out on the internet that is apocalyptic in nature, that this has a lot of biblical references, that the path of totality goes across 7 cities named Nineveh, and also goes across a place called Little Egypt, Illinois. So this is like a tip of the cap to all of the, the plagues and all of that from the Bible days.
I'm a conspiracy theorist, and you dug real deep for that one.
This is not true, by the way. There are only 2 Ninevehs, not 7. So there's that. It does cross over Little Egypt, though. And then the final one that I thought you might get a good kick out of. So there's apparently been a picture circulating that in the days before said solar eclipse, a strange birdman has been photographed flying around the skies in Mexico.
That's their leader.
That's their leader. That's their leader. It is, in fact, not true. This picture, while unexplained, of a silhouetted figure in the sky that looks like a man with, well, what you would think are just, wings from a comic book or something, like the Icarus, those pictures of Icarus that flew too close to the sun. Yeah, those have been circulating since November of 2016. And by the way, Birdman cannot happen because there are not wings strong enough to carry a human body.
I'm just here to say, when the eclipse happens, look around and notice that you don't see any birds. Because they're solar powered and their power source is blocked.
Is that what it's going to be? Okay. They're just going to be dropping out of the sky for 3 minutes.
They won't drop from anywhere. They'll go hide. Recharge on a power line.
They got to go to the recharging
station. They got to go to the recharging station on the power line. # birds aren't real. You know the truth. Let's go. I've been telling it to you for years. I'll also tell you the truth about this. If I was an attractive woman, I would probably make a lot more money in my life. Here's a great example of that. Britney Spears. She's done some crazy stuff on the old Insta face.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Daily Mail, it bothers me that we spent money to commission this study, but we did. They commissioned a study to figure out how much money Britney Spears would make if she decided to do an OnlyFans.
Okay.
How much do you think it is in the first month?
I will say $1.4 million.
Higher.
2.7.
Higher.
9.8.
Higher.
No way. In the first month?
This is from Celeste Franklin from the OnlyFans agency Plush.
11.6.
Higher.
22.3.
Now you've gone too high.
Thank you.
13 to 18 million in the first month.
Wow.
Then in the following months, her income most likely would level out to about 6 to 9 million a month due to the decline of engagement that was caused by the initial curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brittany
all she has to do is bring the snake with her, and I think we're all on board.
I think if she brings the snake, that will definitely lower her There are weird people out there.
What? It will what?
You know what I meant.
No.
You know what I meant.
They're so weird.
Look, there are weird people out there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I've seen Britney Spears almost nudie patootie on InstaFace.
Patootie.
I'm good. It's like Rodney Carrington. Show me one, I can imagine the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen enough. I got it. We're good.
I don't need to see it on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I'll pass.
Wow.
Now, if we could get back to, like when I was a young man, then we could talk. But
yeah, that's kind of where my mind was at. Because I can see you dance with knives now, and it's not doing anything for me. Really not.
Although, if it didn't do it for somebody, she wouldn't be doing it.
Indeed. Back to the Amon-Ra St. Brown list here in the Sportsocracy. Jeremy's favorite prospects, well, the prospects that he likes better than the industry. We haven't done tight ends yet, so let's hit the tight ends before we get to the linemen.
You know exactly who this is. It's Tip Raymond, hashtag birds aren't real, aficionado himself.
Oh, he's team one?
My new best friend. Let's go. He knows the truth's out there. I'm all about some Tip Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was before he said that. Then he said it right in front of me, and we winked at each other. We had a moment. We flashed the hand signal. We both know that we're members of the group, and now we're best friends.
Yeah, Jeremy winked at him, and he immediately went, restraining order. Okay.
It's okay. Pair yours with the one pair mine with the one you got from Mike McDaniels. Doing a great job, Coach.
Doing a great job, Coach.
Fist bump.
Just so you know. All right, your second team tight end.
It's Jatavian Sanders. I do not understand why people are pushing him down the board. He just reminds me of Jermichael Finley. And in this tight end class, that is mainly poop. I'll take this. He's going to start in this league, and I know that definitively. I don't know that about anybody else. Alex S. asked about my hatred of Ben Sinnott. It's not that I hate him. It's that I do not understand why people are putting him ahead of Jatavian Sanders. I cannot make that make sense in my head. One of them, I think, will be a good target in the NFL. He's not a great blocker. Name me a tight end that's a great blocker.
Mm-hmm.
Younger tight end that's a great blocker. Come out in the last 6 years that is any kind of threat as a receiving weapon. There's a reason for that. It's because it's being phased out of the game. There are guys that can block. They don't tend to be really good receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to go jack of all trades, master of none, I'm good. I've seen that guy. His name's Bob Tonyan. And he doesn't even know how to pronounce his own friggin' name.
Right. Okay. Tackles.
You should know one.
I should know one of these?
I've only said his name, I don't know, a couple thousand times. Jordan Morgan out of Arizona.
Ah, yes. Jordan Morgan.
I don't get what it is that people don't like about him. I started hearing the back end of the first round talk again, which that gives me some hope for humanity. But I'm not hearing enough of it. Jordan Morgan was a fringe of a first round grade for me. And I only had 18 of those. So he's in the high, I want to say he was 21 for me. Well, there's 32 picks. So
he's at 21 overall?
Yes.
Okay.
I love him. I don't see with linemen like that, if I'm going to take him the first round, I always look at what is your floor. And to me, his floor is, I think he could be a really good left tackle. I think he could be an elite right tackle. And worst case scenario, we Robert Gallery him and throw him in at guard. If he's heavy-footed, which I don't see, but some other people do, he'll play 10 years in this league as a guard. I got to have two of those too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a great guard class.
Okay. Next.
Christian Jones. I don't know why the hype has died down from him, but I'm seeing him go later and later and later and later, and I don't really understand it. And I'm going to tie him into one of the other tackles on this list, second-team guy, Patrick Paul. I get that you've got to grow these players. There's a reason they're not going in the first round, because they are raw.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of those guys should last out of the top 50. Like, if they're not in the first 18 picks of day two, we did something wrong. Because it falls off a cliff after them. And it turns into a bunch of projection. I know they can play in this league. Might take a year. I might have to hide them at right tackle. It might even be better if I could sit them out right. But you can play in this league. And there's no doubt in my mind about that.
Okay, so I'm guessing your final tackle is a bit of a projection. Since you said that.
No.
Okay.
It's one that just doesn't make sense. And he doesn't really fit on this team because he's too good of a player.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because he's too good of a player that he's on this team. It's Ola Fashanu.
Uh-huh. The hatred.
If he doesn't go in the top 10, the league did it wrong. Period. I saw him at 28 in a mock the other day.
It seems
That's
insane.
dumb. That's dumb. It's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a premium position. He's really good at it. And the knock on him is he's not a great run blocker. Okay. Yours is a passing league, right? I mean, I get that you run too. I'm well aware of that. You also know there's ways to mitigate that. It's really not that hard. I mean, you need a guy like Tip Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
Slide that tight end over there. Maybe get a little boost in the run game. Have a fullback. God forbid we deploy a fullback that's not named Kyle Juszczyk.
Mm-hmm.
Help the kid out to start with. He's an elite pass blocker off the jump.
All right, how about the interior of the offensive line? We'll get to those picks coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Amon-Ra St. Brown team at at ESPN Draft Nerd. Flostradamus Jeremy Green gives you the rest of his list after this.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Doug Gottlieb here. March is here. That means Chick Days, planting your garden, and college basketball. Just like in basketball, every team needs its MVP. When it comes to team members who go above and beyond, Tractor Supply has the winning lineup. Our home team at Tractor Supply is excited to support your hometown. We're proud to be part of the excitement of college basketball tournament season, and our home team looks forward to serving your hometown. Because every day is game day at Tractor Supply.
Elevate your outdoor living space this year using stone. Tanzite has developed stone decking crafted without any plastic composite materials to redefine durability. Visit Tanzite.com to see how stone decking doesn't scratch, stays cooler, isn't slippery, and has all the durability you would expect from stone, which is why it's guaranteed for life. At Tanzite.com, you will see how we developed stone to easily transform any ordinary wood deck. You can even make your deck waterproof for a dry space below. Versatile and adaptable, Tanzite is perfect for decks, stairs, over concrete, or ground applications. Visit Tanzite.com to start planning your project with a free 3D design and construction plan tailored to your space. Order a sample today to witness the incredible beauty and durability firsthand at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls. Low prices. Love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Amon-Ra St. Brown team for 2024. Offense today, defense is coming up tomorrow. I saw somebody had asked about, had we talked about Devondre Sweat yet? No, we'll talk about him tomorrow.
Yeah, they were referring to, he did a thing you're not supposed to.
Oh, no. Oh, I think I did see. He got a what? He got a Dewey?
He did.
Yeah. You aren't not
Stop driving cars.
Okay.
For the love of good Lord, you can do whatever you want to. Just hire a driver.
Yeah, we have the ETN from Georgia got in trouble for that the other day as well. Come to Georgia to drink and drive. Still feel like we're teaching them to do that. Interior offensive lineman for the Amon-Ra St. Brown team. These are Jeremy's guys that he likes better than the industry. Who's on your first team?
We're talking guards?
Sure.
Christian Haynes and Christian Mahogany. I'm feeling very Christian with my guards.
I was going to say.
They're both – Christian Haynes should be a top 50 pick. I wouldn't be horribly upset if a team took him in the first round. And I'm not totally sure that a team won't. I just keep seeing people around the industry denigrating him of, he played at UConn and you could avoid him too easily. He was an absolute man at the Senior Bowl. Mm-hmm. And when you watch him on tape, that's exactly what you see on tape. Christian Mahogany did the same thing at the Hula Bowl. I think that was where he was.
Okay.
I know he was at one of the bowl games. I get them confused outside of the Senior Bowl. I wish can we just come?
So it could have been the Shrine Bowl or the Hula Bowl or
I thought it was the Hula Bowl. I'll check.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic, and I went back and watched the tape on him, and he is, to me, he's a plug and play starter, and I think you can get him at the end of the third round, and that's just in this class, that's really good value, because the guards on the second team are Zach Zenter from Michigan, who you may full well have to wait a year. Just horrible knee injury in the Ohio State game. Great chance he doesn't play this year, and if he does, it'll probably be late.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. I'll redshirt this kid. I had him as a second-round prospect before he got hurt. Now I think you can get him somewhere in the fourth-round range. It's fine. Good team. This is how good teams build themselves. Take him and just stash him away for a year, and Cooper Beebe, of who I do not see the upside in. I do not think he is going to become some great guard in this league. But I think that's pushing him down. He has the safest floor of any player in this draft. Not guard, any player. And you're going to get him probably in the late second, early third. There's no bust there.
Mm-hmm. He comes in an immediate contributor.
He comes in as immediate starter for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Can't tell you that he's ever more than a net neutral, because he might be the 32nd ranked guard every year for the next 10 years. There's a merit to knowing that I have a legit starting guard that's not going to be a sieve moving forward.
Especially if I can get him in the third round.
And I think you can.
Mm-hmm.
He might be one of those that scouts view higher than I do. I'm not hearing that. And I'm not seeing that. So it would almost come as a surprise to me.
Okay. And then centers.
Well, one of them had to be Cedric Von Braun, because I think I've talked about him every single time we've talked about the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think his name has come up. Can't wait to see where he lands. He's it's that Jamari Sawyer thing. The difference with him and Sawyer is that I know he can play center, and that's really valuable to me. I don't know exactly where he's going to land. It's still a little weird to me that he just didn't show at the Senior Bowl and never really gave a great reason as to why. That's bizarre. It's not unheard of. It's happened before.
Is that one of those promise things?
That's more of an NBA thing, especially that early in the process. I'm not going to tell you it couldn't happen. You're at 0.1%.
But.
So that's weird. I'm curious what the medical looked like, because it did seem like after the combine he got pushed down. So I'm curious if there's something medical there that I don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
But center, after Jackson Powers Johnson and after Zach Frazier, it takes an absolute swan dive off a cliff. And Cedric Von Braun's about the only one that I look at and go, okay, I do think you could start.
Okay.
And then on the second team is Tanner Bortolini out of Wisconsin.
Ooh, tell me something about
him. I've
never heard of him.
He was at the Senior Bowl, and he's not the most physically impressive specimen you've ever seen. He's just a football player. I considered Bo Limmer there, but I don't necessarily know that I like him better than the industry. I think it's just the position is so bad, up and down, that he's going to go there because you got a handful of teams that need centers. Bortolini that's a day 3 pick that I'll almost promise you goes to a zone team, and it's a really smart one. Which means I hope it's my Jets. It'll most likely be the 49ers.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is CSPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry weather continues, but showers will be back by Tuesday. Partial sun this afternoon. 73 should do it. Tonight, thickening clouds down to about 52. Tomorrow, a little cooler and some showers late morning, scattered around into the afternoon, 65. Tuesday night, showers. Wednesday, scattered showers, 72. Thursday, showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms with heavy rain, 70 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Fire, flood, wind damage, arguably a homeowner's worst nightmare. For nearly 4 decades, First Restoration Services has been helping people recover from disasters with trust, integrity, speed, and quality. If you have a disaster, call them today, 1-800-537-6151, or online at frs247.com.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you are tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp. Dr. Scheinkupp is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about some exciting options. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, and the Sportsocracy is live in the Ingalls studio. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It is the start of another week. It is going to be another shortened week for us. We will not have a program for you on Thursday due to afternoon matinee baseball.
But then we have one more of those next week. Draft week is completely clear. And then we don't have another one until like the end of May.
That's right.
Which is ironic because I won't be here that week anyway.
So it all just works out in the end. But just a programming note, we will not have a program for you on this Thursday due to Atlanta Braves baseball, which you can hear the Braves all season long right here on ESPN Asheville. Tonight, starting a 4-game set with the New York Mets down at the old SunTrust, or no, not SunTrust, Truist Park. Excuse me. It is daily draft time. We started out the show talking about Wrestlemania. That got more of my eyeballs this weekend than I anticipated that it would. Just always want to harken back. Always want to check in and see how the old industry is a-doing. I was not impressed. There were some good things. Nah, for the most part, I just saw a lot of leaning on the Attitude Era to try to get people like me interested again. Did it work? Maybe. As Jeremy said in the first hour of the show, it did make the goosebumps stand up on the back of your neck when the dong came in for the Undertaker in the middle of the main event. Wasn't so wild about John Cena.
You just hate John Cena.
I don't know. I hate his face. I hate his face, and his stupid hair makes it worse.
I was about to say, is it his current face or the previous face or the fully balding face?
Just let it go. Just let it go, dude. I don't think you need to keep this up any longer.
Channel your inner Frozen. Let it go. Let it go.
So I thought we should do a daily draft of the best performers, best WrestleMania performers. And then Jeremy said he wanted to go with actual best matches.
Well, yeah, because
in WrestleMania.
Yeah, because best WrestleMania performer, whoever has the first pick gets the Undertaker, and then you just win. Like, it's just over. It's 100%.
It's not over.
It's over.
It's not over.
It's 100%.
Just because it was written in that he never lost at WrestleMania doesn't mean that you immediately win.
The streak is 40% of why WrestleMania became what it is.
Is it?
100%. 100%. That survived you through some real bleak times where you had a lot of Dave Bautista in your main event.
Oh, I'm not saying
that kept you from falling off the world.
I'm not saying it wasn't necessary to the storyline at one point, but it didn't make the event what it was.
It made what it is now.
WrestleMania,
it had a huge part of making it what it is now.
Mm-hmm. WrestleMania was already WrestleMania before the streak.
WrestleMania wasn't selling out Lincoln Financial Field, having 400,000 people walk through the gates. That's new. And trust me, if you don't believe me, go back and watch, I don't know, even 10 years ago and just go, this feels different. It doesn't feel as big. The ring doesn't feel as in a giant stadium as it does now. It's different. The money's different. Cinematography's different. It's all different.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say the wrestling was better. Said the event is different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So do you want to go first here?
Oh, I mean, if we're doing wrestlers, I'll take the Undertaker, and then I literally can sit here and drink my Coke for the next 15 minutes, and so long as I don't take Doink the Clown, the IRS man, and Vince McMahon, I'm going to win.
Okay. Bold strategy. I mean, Undertaker undefeated at WrestleMania. Is he? Did he ever lose?
He lost Brock Lesnar, which I still maintain is one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen.
Why?
Because Brock Lesnar is awful. He is awful.
He's not awful.
He's awful.
There are far worse wrestlers than
Doink the Clown.
Him.
Yeah, stop putting him on like top 25 greatest of all time. No, he's not. No, he is not.
Yeah.
He did some special stuff, and then he became, hey, look how many suplexes I could do. Isn't that cool? Isn't that sweet? Ugh.
Okay.
Giant Gonzalez did very similar things, and he wore a unitard.
Mm-hmm. All right. Undertaker, good first pick for you. The Rock is my first pick.
It's fine.
I get it. There's no better performer in the history of wrestling than The Rock. And WrestleMania's, don't squint your eyes. He is the best of all time, and it's not close. Give me one.
That's better?
That's better. Who ranks higher than The Rock on your all-time list?
Why don't you just make your picks, and we'll worry about mine after that. Because I feel like I've already won, but...
I mean, you can. That's fine, and you're wrong. And then I will go Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's awesome, because you left me my second one.
No, who is that?
Shawn Michaels. 5 greatest matches of all time at WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels was in 3 of them. Now I actually could go Repo Man, Brooklyn Brawler. Let's see, Phineas Godwin and Henry Godwin, and whoever the weird hillbilly that came with him, third Godwin. I still win. Look, you took 2 great ones with Stone Cold. Stone Cold had one of the greatest matches of all time at WrestleMania. The Rock had a great match at WrestleMania.
He's had a bunch of them.
Okay, you say a bunch of them. Which were
who's the one that they keep calling every time they need a bump? It's The Rock.
Well, I mean, he's only really shown up a couple of times. He showed up one time as the host, which was super lame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out. So you keep saying it, like all these great matches he had. Which ones are you talking about specifically? Because I'm afraid you're going to say one that I'm going to yell at you for. Because him, Stone Cold, yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That was at 28, 27,
something like that.
That one I'll give you.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Shawn Michaels, I'll give you that one.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, that was Stone Cold. Sorry. With The Rock, I'd struggle to. Where's that next one coming in? Because if you say John Cena, I'm going to make fun of you. That was.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Oh, it's so great. This is what we all always wanted. It was not as great as you pointed out to be.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that like 4 or 5 times over the weekend of, oh, this is the match we always wanted. Are you sure? 'Cause we got it once.
What, John Cena and The Rock?
You got it. It wasn't great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. After Shawn Michaels.
Now, Joshua Pinnock said, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Shawn Michaels' nickname Mr. WrestleMania? Yes, sir, it is, which is why I sat here with a very, I was in a clinch, and not the kind that you see in a wrestling ring go, don't say Shawn Michaels, don't say Shawn Michaels. This is where I have to play the game of beating you. And I have to figure out who you're going to say. And I know who one of yours is. Almost without a shadow of a doubt. I can wait on that one. I got to go Hulk Hogan. I don't want to, but I have to. Because I know that's the one you'll take. And he was the headliner of the first handful of these.
Yes.
You got him and Andre. Oh. I don't love that era. I don't. And
I don't either.
I hate that I had to do it. But
I don't love that era either, but he made the business what it is. And you have to respect that at some point. He may not have been the greatest wrestler. He may not have been the greatest gimmick. But all of it together, there's no denying.
And in the chat, there is a name that you said that I'm not going to lie. I wanted to say that name, but I couldn't because I couldn't take him over Hulk Hogan.
That's not happening at all.
Kelvin Joyner said I should pick Shinsuke Nakamura just for his entrances. I'd still win.
I don't necessarily want to do this with my next selection. But, I mean, he did carry them for a long, long time. And it's Triple H.
No! I didn't think I had to do that early, and now I'm mad at myself. You're still getting killed, but that at least made it respectable.
I mean, I think he has the most.
Oh, why did I deviate? He was my 3. He was my 3, but I didn't think you would do that.
I'm curious where you thought I would go. Other than that.
There's a name of a dude that we're... Nope, I'm not even going to give it to you because you don't seem to know where I was headed with that. Go ahead. What you got?
No, I do not know where you were headed with that. And then...
At this point, they're just saying names that I should randomly say and still win this. Gold Dust.
Gold Dust. Good job. I'll take Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm. You sure?
Who are you talking about?
Bret Hart. 2 of the greatest matches of all time. And I don't love Bret Hart. I never did.
Mm-hmm.
I was giving you that one because you were defending him as like the greatest that there ever was. If there was ever a time to take him, it would be now. So he had the Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels, and he had the one with Stone Cold where he had the weird blood running down his tooth, and still haunts my nightmares for some reason. I don't like blood. I'm very anti-blood. I'm pro it in pro wrestling, but I don't like it in general because it makes me very queasy. Now I feel like I could. Do I even? Can I pass? Is passing a thing? You know what? I'll take Macho Man Randy Savage just because I can.
Good for you.
And then I have one more that's because we'll do an undrafted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
So, low key, this is one of my great skills. I was super into wrestling for a long time, and I keep just enough tabs on it now to see if the arrow's going up or trending down. It was trending down for a long time. No, not anymore. I would almost do a weekly wrestling podcast now if there was interest in it. The only thing is that I would have to watch it, and I don't have time for that.
I was going to say, that's a lot.
I could do like a history of wrestling podcast and be just your Huckleberry.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is that many of you would hate me because there's about 8 wrestlers that I despise that many of you love.
Yep. I'll take Brock as my final one. Who was your undrafted free agent?
Oh, go ahead. You won't take mine.
I took Brock. So
that should have just been your 5th.
Oh, I need another one. Screw it. I'll go Andre.
That was not mine.
That was such a monumental match. You can't deny it.
I figured there was one.
I thought you had it.
I did because I wanted to say Daniel Bryan just because he had the greatest moment. But you left John Cena, and I have to take John Cena, even though I don't want to.
There you go. Take John Cena.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have never seen just an absolute assault in person, you just did. That was the equivalent of if UConn came out tonight, Zach Edey decided he wanted to go wax surfboards, and they played the ball boys for 40 minutes, and UConn went, we're going to beat you 278-6. And we let you score the last one so it would hit 6. I think we should put
so
that.
Proud of yourself.
I am.
He's just so beamy.
I always love proving that I know something other than football because I care so little about the other sports. I'm not sure in the lexicon of actual, and I know this is not a sport because it's predetermined. I was trying to get away from the fixed word. I'm not sure that it's not in my top 5 of favorite sports. I would literally watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT before I'd watch 2 innings of a baseball game. I'd watch it every single week, as opposed to I had to watch the bottom of the 9th between the Dodgers and the Red Sox.
Ugh.
No doubt.
It's just so painful. It is so painful to watch.
It's
and
funny.
I don't see how people keep doing it.
Oh, I do. I get it. It's trending in the right direction. As a purist, old school 90s grew up in the Attitude Era, it's headed down the right path.
Mm-hmm. It's been a good 5 days. We'll see if it keeps going.
Oh no, where you go from here, that I don't know. Because now you all got what you wanted, and you got this little fella with a title.
Well, congratulations.
And I'm not sure where it goes from here.
You got a C-level wrestler as your champion. Congratulations. Good job.
He always goes too far. He can't just make the jab. He has to dig 6 foot deep and then wait for the Undertaker to just go boop, push him right in that hole.
It's just not good.
I will go ahead and tell you that AJ Styles Undertaker meme. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
AJ looks real happy.
Yeah, where he's in the
himself.
graveyard.
Yeah, that meme's going to be posted on our social media, and it's going to say, Tank thinking he could win something wrestling. Jeremy laughing, biting.
You're in the sports
29 holes for 29 souls. Let's go.
It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM. At 1400. The roof is the most important part of the home, and this month ESPN Asheville and Balkan Roofing are giving one away free of charge. Through April, go to ESPNAVL.com and click on the Balkan Roofing's Roofing for a Reason. Follow the link to nominate a homeowner in need of a new roof and why they should be our winner. At the end of the month, one iHeart Asheville winner will be selected. Make your nominations again at ESPNAVL.com. Roofing for a Reason with Balkan Roofing.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville. Just check out their Google reviews. One patient writes, "I'll start by saying I really hate going to the dentist. My anxiety is always through the roof and I'm always so nervous. However, Summit Dental may be the first place that my anxiety is actually not going through the roof. The staff that works at Summit are an incredible team. They're kind, knowledgeable, and funny. I left feeling confident that we have a plan to help restore my teeth and get me on track to a better smile." Find out more about Summit Dental at AshevilleSummitDental.com or call 828-277-6868.
It's the VC Show. What's up? I'm Vince Carter, and my podcast, The VC Show, is coming back. Season 2 of The VC Show is going to be bigger and better than ever. Every week during the NBA season, I'll give you my real insights and opinions on the league. Vinsanity reigns supreme. Subscribe to the pod and listen to The VC Show with me, Vince Carter, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. It's the VC Show.
At Ingles, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, God?
We are back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We had big news yesterday in the college basketball world.
When you say, is it big news?
Yeah, it's big news. John Calipari leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas. I'd say that's pretty much the definition of big news.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, and you tell me where I'm wrong.
Okay.
Was Kentucky national title relevant before?
Before he left?
Yes.
No.
No. Will they be national title relevant after he's gone?
No.
No. Was Arkansas national title relevant before he showed up?
No.
No. Will they be national title relevant now that he's there?
You don't know.
No.
You don't think so?
How is it going to work better in a place that cares less? Arkansas is still football first above all else.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that they've got a lot of money. They had a lot of money with Eric Musselman, too. And they were ready to run him out of town. This just strikes me as I got out before you got me out.
Yes.
Arkansas is going to love having the name for about an hour, and then it's going to wear thin. Because he's going to try to do that exact same thing that he did in Kentucky at Arkansas, and it's not going to work any better here than it did there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we talked about this the other day, right, or a couple of weeks ago, I guess, beginning of the tournament, when they got ousted from the tournament in the first round, and it was, what was it, the 4th time in the last 5 years that they had made a first weekend exit or something like that? Actually, I don't think they've made it out of the first weekend in the last 5 years. Only one tournament win since 2019. So No, they haven't made it out of the first weekend. He has to change.
And he's not going to.
He has to change. He has to adopt the veteran aspect of this. And maybe he will. Maybe he will learn with, well, I mean, Eric Musselman was pretty good at that. Bringing in veterans, and you can't bring in 6 McDonald's All-Americans every year and compete with these teams that have been together that have experience. It's just not going to work.
Just look at what the Elite Eight showed you.
Mm-hmm.
The one team that looked completely out of place was Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all a bunch of young kids that got run off the floor by a more experienced team.
Yep.
As soon as things got tough, they got run off the floor. It doesn't work. I would say the same thing about John Shire that I say about John Calipari. You're bringing in these really difficult to coach, and it's not attitude or anything like that. They have a game where it has been 1-4 high of, hey, I'm the best player on this floor. Y'all just stand at the 3-point line, watch me work because nobody can guard me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you try to assemble 5 of those on the floor. That's never going to work.
I mean, he has gotten it to work a couple of times. Not lately, he hasn't. But I'm trying to think back. Was that 2018? Is that why we keep using the 2019? Because 2018 was when they went to the Final Four, right? They had that 8 seed team that was a little scrappy and ended up making a run. I think he has that in him as a coach. But the game has changed the way he likes to assemble his teams. You can't do that anymore. You can't just win on talent alone, which he was doing with Anthony Davis and those guys.
Well, the problem with Calipari is that it's a very specific build that works. If you think back to UMass when he had Marcus Camby and Lou Rowe, did you ever notice that it didn't work outside of that? Then he jumped to the NBA with the Brooklyn Nets and took Kerry Kittles over Kobe Bryant. And you can tell me till you're blue in the face that you knew how good he was going to be. If you did, you would have taken him and made him sit.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't work. Then he comes back. He does the college thing with Memphis. It worked really one time with Derrick Rose because you had the dribble drive in the dribble drive offense. It's really hard to put that together now, and he hasn't had a second act. There hasn't been an adjustment, and I'm going to make a comparison. It's going to sound funny because the guy I'm comparing him to coached exactly the way I did. It's Nolan Richardson. He's going to Arkansas. He has the exact same problem that the greatest coach that this institution has ever had. He could full court press you. He could go 40 minutes a hill. He couldn't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he couldn't recruit players like that and didn't have a team like that, they'd get run off the floor. Because if that's what you're trying to do and you don't have 10 guys that can do it, you'll get killed in the second half. And he did for a long time. I don't know that this is as big a deal as people are making it out to be. This is a name, but it doesn't really change anything. I don't look at Arkansas any differently now than I did with Eric Musselman. You're going to bring in good players. You always did.
Mm-hmm.
You got Tyson Foods money. You got Walmart money. You got Jerry Jones money. You got another guy that's got $1 bajillion that I don't know what he did, and I don't really care. But apparently he's the one that brought in Calipari. All right, so you got a lot of money. Money don't make you smart.
No, but you're already smart. And money helps you stay in the game. Money helps you recruit. I don't expect John Calipari's recruiting record to drop off because of this move.
And I guess that's my problem is he's always recruited well.
Mm-hmm.
Can't win. And here would be my argument. I'm going to name a coach. You tell me 40-minute game, dead even rosters. I've given you exactly what you want, exactly what you need to win. Bet your house on it. Which coach you feel better about? Dan Hurley or John Calipari?
Oh, Dan Hurley.
Tom Izzo or John Calipari?
Izzo.
The fact you had to think about that long shocks me.
Yeah, he ain't as great as he once was.
Because he can't recruit. because he tries to get guys that stick around for 5 years. So he doesn't have but one McDonald's All-American. He just gets outgunned.
Mm-hmm.
He outcoached Hubert Davis when they played in the tournament. He just didn't have the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Self or Tom Calipari. Or John Calipari.
I don't know who Tom Calipari is.
I don't think that's his brother. He works a lot of union jobs that he never shows up to.
Old Tom. He's a hell of a guy.
He's in the waste management business.
Bill Self.
All right, those to me were easy.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it gets a little harder. Bruce Pearl or John Calipari?
I'll take Cal.
I won't. Hubert Davis or John Calipari?
Cal.
I'm not so sure I'm there, and I don't believe in Hubert Davis all that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ask you John Shire because I already know your answer to it.
It's not close.
I feel like there are a lot of really good coaches that are on the younger side. Let me ask you this a different way. Let's say Kentucky really backs up the Brinks truck, brings in Jay Wright.
Mm-hmm.
How is this not an A++ for Kentucky that Calipari walked away? Because I got out of the buyout.
Sure.
I didn't have to pay you a dime,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a better coach.
Yes.
Who's younger than you.
Yeah.
Who understands how to coach in the modern day. Now, do I think Jay Wright's going to take that job? No, I don't. I think it's way more likely that it's Mark Pope. That's the BYU coach.
Mm-hmm.
He played at Kentucky. He was on the 96 national title team. I think that's where that's going to get. It is not fun. Kentucky is not a job I would want.
No.
You have crazy expectations.
Of course. You got national championship expectations blindly each and every year.
And you're just not that.
No.
You're not that blue blood anymore. Over the last 25 years, you've had a lot more Billy Gillispie than you had glory days.
Mm-hmm.
You're not Duke. You're not Duke. You're not North Carolina. Hell, at this point, I could even say you're not UCLA. Sounds crazy to say,
like
but
if
you look at the last 25 years, they're a lot closer than you would think.
Yep.
And one of them's been to a Final Four more recently than the other one has.
That's true.
I don't think it's a very alluring job.
I don't think the drop off has been, or I guess will be, that bad. But also, I didn't think the bad years were coming. Right, the Billy Gillispie years.
I think you're
I
in the
always
same
thought this
boat.
was foolproof. I always believed that Kentucky is a foolproof program. Doesn't matter who's the coach, they're going to be really, really good. It is a fool's errand to think of it that way. But I think we get locked into the brands are so big that nobody can fail. Well, hell, Matt Doherty is an example of that's not true for anybody. They will take a step back after Coach Cal. Now, if they get Jay Wright to come in, sure, that's a win-win situation. But I think this was the right time for Cal to make this move.
If you take the first 3 years at UMass out, of which if you want to know how long Calipari's been a coach, it's literally my entire life. His first year at UMass was the year I was born. If you take those first 3 years out, when that was just a dog water program, once he got his players in there, he went 30-5 that fourth year. That was in 91.
Okay.
He lost 10 games 3 years in a row to start his career. Outside of that, he's done it 8 times total. 3 of them are in the last 4 years. Game's changed.
Mm-hmm.
You want a headline. Congratulations. You want a headline for a day. You want a headline the night before the national championship game. That's what you got if you're Arkansas. I really genuinely feel like this is the old man with the 2 shirts. He's wearing a red shirt. He opened the exact same red shirt. Awesome. I'm going to recruit well. And I'm going to get beat by every high-level coach that I come in contact with because there's a way bigger buy-in at Florida, at Tennessee. Rick Barnes, I didn't even mention him. Rick Barnes, I'd take him 10 times over John Calipari. He wouldn't think about it. He's 10 times the coach. Calipari's a great recruiter. Well, now it doesn't really matter how good a recruiter you are because you're not recruiting these players. The NIL is recruiting these players. how much money you've got is recruiting these guys. Well, you had the money. You had the money at Kentucky. Do you have more now? Maybe. It was never getting the players in the building that was the problem. It was these players that you bring in, like this Bradshaw kid that was the number 6 recruit in the country. You could not figure out how to use him.
Mm-hmm.
You saw highlights of it. There were days, there were games where you went, there he is. And then the next week, he played 12 minutes. Sweet. That's a problem. And if you look at the other side of this for Kentucky, you can call Dan Hurley. He will laugh you out of the building. He will laugh until he piddles on himself, and then he will hang up the phone on you. You can call Jay Wright. I think he'll laugh at you. I don't think he wants to coach, so that's not really so much you as it is, the answer's going to be no to anybody.
Yeah, right.
And then where do you turn? You got what you wanted. All you Kentucky fans wanted John Calipari gone. Awesome. You got what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But much like little children that want to eat ice cream for dinner, I can cave and give you what you want. But when you have a stomach ache, I don't want to hear you complain.
Yep. All the top assistants that they possibly could have gone after, or I guess other young and up-and-coming coaches, they all just signed contract extensions. So you don't have a lot to go on. Scott Drew.
Scott Drew's the one that I think you have to back up a Brinks truck to and just say, what does it take?
Yes. I'm going to Scott Drew, and I'm giving him whatever he wants.
I mean, because he gets very Buzz Williams, Mick Cronin, Billy. They'll call Billy Donovan.
And if you're like me, and if you're like me, and you think Kentucky's been going down the wrong path for the last 6-7 years, with all of the McDonald's All-Americans and all the freshman talent and all these dudes you ain't never heard of, maybe Scott Drew is the best way to go. He is the anti-John Calipari. One of the guys who plays the veteran game better than anybody else. That is the path to competing in college basketball for the future. To me, that's the solution. You go after Scott Drew, and I don't care what it costs. I'm going to make him the highest paid coach in college basketball, if necessary. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry weather continues, but showers will be back by Tuesday. Partial sun this afternoon. 73 should do it. Tonight, thickening clouds down to about 52. Tomorrow, a little cooler and some showers late morning, scattered around into the afternoon, 65. Tuesday night, showers. Wednesday, scattered showers, 72. Thursday, showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms with heavy rain, 70 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Juicy Juice. Juicy Juice is 100% juice, which means Juicy Juice is only sweetened by the fruit, with no sugar added, no high fructose corn syrup, and no artificial sweeteners. Try all of the delicious flavors. Find Juicy Juice at your favorite local grocery retailer. Info at juicyjuice.com.
They're modern-day con artists, and they're the focus of Creating a Con, a true crime anthology podcast. Season 1 spotlights Ray Trapani and his tech startup scam, endorsed by DJ Khaled and Floyd Mayweather, and built on empty promises and millions from bilked investors.
If someone's like, oh, what's your best way of making money? I don't think start a business. I'm like, oh, we should start some sort of scheme, and I can't help it.
Listen to Creating a Con on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Creating a Con.
Spring has sprung and it's full tilt boogie time at GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Asheville Smiles has been featured in national publications like Good Housekeeping and Woman's Day. And check out this 5-star Google review. My dental experience was wonderful. I cannot say enough about Dr. Merrill and her amazing team at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. Dr. Merrill took time to explain everything. She made me feel relaxed and confident that I was in good hands. I apologize for those tears at your office. Those were tears of joy. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dr. Merrill, for the hope to get my smile back. Check out Asheville Smiles online at ashevillesmiles.com.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA choice and prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Don't do crimes. Jeremy Green, what you got for us today?
Morgan Wallen. He did crimes.
Oh, he did crimes.
He did crimes. Morgan needs to, maybe not drink so much. He was at Jason Aldean's bar, the new one in Nashville. He was on the 6th floor on the patio, and he decided that he was going to throw a chair off the balcony. The only problem is that he had turned into his alter ego, Caterwallen, and he was a little boozed up, and he almost took out 2 people on the ground. That is felony assault.
You ought not do that.
Yeah. So the internet had a great bit of fun with Morgan Wallen and some great social media things. One feller on Twitter, he took the picture of Kevin Durant in the hospital bed, and it said, "Me if I got hit with a chair that was thrown from 6 stories high," and I find out it was Morgan Wallen that did it. Every part of his body is in a cast.
Yes. Yeah. There's no other way that's going to happen.
I'm going to say this as somebody that I enjoy booze quite a bit, and I have somebody that can rein me in when I decide to get caterwauling. Why do you not have one of those?
Mm-hmm.
HWA is mine. She can look at me, and she's almost like Cesar Millan. Just, no.
Yes. I've seen her do it. It's hilarious.
No. Just hits me right on the nape of the neck. Just, and that's when I know, okay, you're being a jackass, and you need to stop.
I saw Jeremy get whipped up into a frenzy in a bar one night. He was so dead set that he was going to whip this dude's ass. And she did everything possible to keep him out of arm's length of that guy. I don't know that it worked. But I never saw the fight, so I didn't know.
If you're talking about the same night that I specifically remember, that dude ended up buying me like 4 beers.
Nice.
If it's the same night I'm thinking of.
It probably was.
And the funny part of that is because his wife did the same thing to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he went, "Oh, I was being a jerk."
It's always an adventure when you go out with Flostradamus Jeremy Green.
Best there is, best was, best there ever will be.
Best there. Oh, look at you! Just keep going back to the wrestling memes.
Yeah, Red Sea. He made the meme I was looking for. We put that up in the break.
Oh, with the AJ Styles thing.
He looks so happy. The Undertaker's back behind him, like, I dug
Guess
29 holes for 29 souls.
Yes, the all WrestleMania main event team draft did not go my way, but it's okay.
You wound up with Brock Lesnar in a draft about good wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't get your derision of Brock Lesnar.
You can't do anything. Look, go to Suplex City. Watch me do the same thing. But Brock Lesnar is the living embodiment of me playing that video game when I was a kid. I know how to do
Just
one
hit the same
thing.
button over and over
I
again?
know this works, and if I do it 70 times, eventually it's going to blink special. I'm going to hit the left trigger, and I'm going to F5 you, and I'm going to pin you, and I'm going to win. So, yes.
Yes.
And that irks me.
Mm-hmm.
Find it very irksome.
Indeed. Anyhow, what were we going to talk about next?
I thought do you not have a crime story?
I do not have a crime story. No. I lost my crime story.
I had like 6.
Well, tell another one.
I picked one because I figured you were just finding yours.
Yeah, no, I was trying to find one, but it's nothing great to talk about. I'm so enthralled with trying to figure out is this eclipse coming or not. I want to see how dark it gets outside.
It's not going to.
Well, it is.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it currently looks like a bad horror movie outside of Radio Ranch, but it's also very cloudy.
It is. So those of you who actually want to get the glasses out and look at the eclipse, you may not be able to see it. However, we will be able to see the effects of it. We'll be able to see how dark it gets.
Oh, it's going to get dark.
You don't think that's cool? The fact that it's getting dark in the middle of the day, that's nothing. It's just all right. That's nothing special.
I mean, okay. So as a man,
I'm just curious.
As a man that live baits how I do, it gets dark in the middle of the day a lot. All right, this is not really new for me.
Oh, there's just nothing. There's nothing that impresses Jeremy. Nothing but 40 times.
I mean, I am locked into 40 times.
Yeah, 40 times and shuttle drills. That's the only things that Jeremy can actually care about.
Bingo.
Apparently.
Speaking of that,
around 3 o'clock, around the time we're getting off the air is when it's going to be coming near our area.
I'll look outside and go, oh, it's dark. It's time for. Pretty tired. I think I'll go home now. That's how that's going to go. I'm going to wait for it to not be dark because I don't want to have to drive with my headlights on.
Mm-hmm. Gambit fan says, yeah, I'm off today. Failed at the wrestling draft. I forgot the crime story. And I hate horse racing. I'm not sure why that last one is such a dig, but okay.
It's watching horses run around a track while you booze it.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of reasons to not enjoy that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. When we were talking at the break, you said that there was a rumor that you wanted to address.
Well,
as far as the draft is concerned,
I feel as though I have to. Soaring Eagle has sent this to me on Twitter. It's basically Albert Breer came out and said that there are people in league circles that have Michael Penix Jr. ahead of every other quarterback in the class that's not named Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will tell you that I know a good number of scouts in this league. I talked to a good number of scouts in this league off the record. I have yet to find one that would agree with that. So I fall into the who wants you to know that. Take the conspiracy theory journey with me. I've told you I have 18 first-round grades in this class. That's not uncommon. Basically, the range I've heard is anywhere from 16 to 22, and then there are a lot of second-round grades. What does that mean? Just math-wise, what does that mean?
I don't know what.
It means there's a good chance that you're going to have 10 picks at the end of the first round, where a team has a first-round pick with a fifth-year option and no first-round graded player to use said pick on, which means you're going to get what? A lot of teams that want to trade down. So take how the story was phrased. There are a lot of people in league circles that have Michael Penix Jr. ahead of Jaden Daniels and Drake May, and no references to who that was. That could be Andy Reid for all we know. And it's real easy when I have Pat Mahomes to go, you know who I like? That Michael Penix kid. Bet he's available at 32. You got that pick for your first round pick next year. Be cool if you did. You can't put much stock into these things.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard there are teams that like Penix better than we think, which is why earlier I said I'm starting to think that there is a possibility that Penix goes ahead of Bo Nix and Nix is the one that falls. I just don't know where the landing spots are. It also plays a lot better to me if McCarthy were to fall. I don't know that that's going to happen. The smoke on that's gotten so loud that I don't know how far he could fall before a team goes, oh, God, somebody's going to jump in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like J.J. McCarthy is being drafted in a selection that is not currently owned by the team that's going to make it. Where that falls, I don't know. I can tell you the two New York teams really like Michael Penix. I can tell you that definitively. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know the Jets are not taking him at 10. I don't believe the Giants are taking him at 10. I've heard that, but I don't buy it. I think it's way more likely that the Giants would try to trade back into the first round. I believe that a lot more when they had 2 second-round picks. I don't necessarily find that to be as likely now, but it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Why would you not? Why would you not want to get back into the first round to get that?
If you really like the guy, there's not a reason that you wouldn't.
Right.
Other than you get into ammo and you get into capital. And
But how much would it cost you to
Not a
move
lot.
up there? Right. You're moving up 5 pick or 7 picks to get into
Somewhere
the
in the
32 spot or the 31 spot.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right. It's not going to cost you a great deal. And plus I know you hate it when I say this. I don't mean it as rudimentary as it sounds when I say this, but you're checking the box. You're getting your guy, a guy that you can believe in, and you're setting your next era. It makes more sense for them than anybody, for the Giants.
I can't agree with you on that. I can't. Just the way that I look at team building, I don't feel like Brian Daboll is on sturdy enough ground. You tied yourself to Daniel Jones. You did this. You wanted us to give the deal. There's no way that an NFL head coach coming off an NFL Coach of the Year bid, a season where he won NFL Coach of the Year, he had the turnaround of the year. They made the playoffs. There's no way that front office didn't look at him and go, "You want us to do this?" Now you've lost Saquon Barkley. This almost feels like a lame duck execution. That's where I'm at with Daboll. Is I feel like they know how this is going to go. And you're not going to be the guy, and you're going to be the sacrificial lamb with him. They'll bring in a coach that they do believe in, because that's what the Giants do.
Mm-hmm.
They give you about 3 years, and then off with your head. And they've done this pretty well on repeat for about the last decade. So for me, I can't, in good faith, if I'm the GM, I can't look at a quarterback like Michael Penix and go, yeah, we're going to bring you in as a late first rounder that we traded up for, knowing there's a great chance that you're not going to see the field. So you're going to learn this playbook. Then I'm going to put you in a position where we may have a pick in the top 5 next year. And the fan base loves Quinn Ewers. But we're sitting here with this quarterback that it's a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
All of it ends badly in 6 of 8 possible scenarios. You were talking about a team that could look to do that. I would have said Seattle before they made the move on Sam Howell. I think the movement around this league really tells you what all of these teams feel about the quarterbacks. Notice that every team that has a question at quarterback made a move of some kind. Some of them made 2 or 3 moves. Arizona brought in a backup. Pittsburgh brought in 2 new quarterbacks and jettisoned the guy they took in the first round.
Oh, that's the sunglasses have arrived.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
that's
so we can see the clouds.
So we can see the eclipse as it comes in.
Well, I mean,
nice.
I'm going to need a pair of those.
You got to leave it up to the boss man to come around and protect his workers, right? It's an OSHA requirement.
Well, I mean, having two blind radio hosts to be the first 2 people ever blinded by Eclipse.
Yeah.
I mean,
good thing we got an off day on Thursday, so I can go get my eyes checked.
100%.
Right? So it's just about that time.
Mine are already so bad that with those glasses, it's a great chance I'm not going to be able to see it. Focus!
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap it up on a Monday after this.
To tell you that Keno picks 20 winning numbers, we wrote a winning number of our own. Hit it, boys. You pick up to 10. Keno picks 20. It's It's easy to play for a whole lot of money.
Winning numbers are everywhere with Keno from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win a prize range from 1 in 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top quality fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN. It's really hard to do this with these glasses on. I can't see anything.
Yeah, I asked.
I gotta kind of.
I asked how it was better to use something that you get at Home Depot than my very expensive sunglasses. I understand why. Because you can't see out of these at all.
No. So yeah, hopefully if you get a chance, you can go see the Eclipse with your Eclipse sunglasses. Boss man found some over in the sales building, apparently just laying on a desk. So goody for us, we're saved. We get to go see how dark it is outside in about 5 or 10 minutes. It's going to be coming through. Hopefully you get a chance to see it. It'll be the last time that it comes through in the next, I think they said 20 or 40 years, something like that. It's going to be a long time before you get a chance to see this again.
Hubert Queen said we need Bret Hart shades. These kind of remind me of Bret Hart shades.
I don't think they were quite that dark, though.
I am the blindest there is, the blindest there was, the blindest there ever will be.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It is Monday in the books here in the Ingalls studio. We will be back with you tomorrow at noon right here on ESPN Asheville. Be safe if you're heading out to check out the solar eclipse. Do not stare at it without the protective eyewear. We need everybody to still have their corneas by the time we rejoin you tomorrow at noon. It's like sitting across the desk from Stevie Wonder. He's just like aimlessly looking around the room.
I just call.
I know. What are you looking at, by the way?
What am I currently? I can only see the light. I can see one light in the studio that I think is shining right at me.
It's the dumbest thing ever. Tonight, the national championship.
This is actually how I think the officials in tonight's game will see the game.
It is a big matchup tonight. National championship game, 9:20 tip-off, number 1 seed UConn, number 1 seed Purdue. The battle for the title, UConn trying to go back-to-back. Can Zach Edey and the Purdue Boilermakers win their first ever national title?
No.
No,
they cannot.
No, they cannot.
Well, I mean, they could. They're not going to, but they could.
Mm-hmm. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry weather continues, but showers will be back by Tuesday. Partial sun this afternoon. 73 should do it. Tonight, thickening clouds down to about 52. Tomorrow, a little cooler and some showers late morning, scattered around into the afternoon, 65. Tuesday night, showers. Wednesday, scattered showers, 72. Thursday, showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms with heavy rain, 70 degrees. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Juicy Juice. Juicy Juice is 100% juice, which means Juicy Juice is only sweetened by the fruit, with no sugar added, no high fructose corn syrup, and no artificial sweeteners. Try all of the delicious flavors. Find Juicy Juice at your favorite local grocery retailer. Info at juicyjuice.com.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Now, sometimes it don't always work for an injury, but it practice makes it perfect.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.